Hello, everybody. How's it going? We are about to get started here in a moment. Hope everyone's doing all right tonight. I need to stop that because ooh, orchestral cover. Actually, I do need to hear that. Yeah, I guess this seems like to be like, before someone had a clean version that probably launched with the with Smash Brothers, right? Or maybe it was in Japan. They don't release it in the United States because they don't want people to be able to cover it and then put it on like Spotify.
Cool.
Which is why if you want to listen to the full album, you have to buy Smash Brothers and just listen to that soundtrack.
You buy CDs. That's what you still do. You buy physical CDs in Japan.
Yes, in Japan, right? In Japan, yes. They don't sell the CDs here. Okay, we can. You know, I'll use
Another
this
tweet
tonight.
that broke me was that tweet on the pricing of the game, being like, "Oh, look at the inflation." Like that's a real thing. Like that's a real.
Yeah,
the only reason why they put the game at that price is because they can.
Yes, that's literally the only reason.
That's the absolutely only reason why.
Yes,
they did
that is true.
There's no fucking weird math behind it.
There's that. All right, there's us. Let me get the stream deck, and I think we'll be good mostly. Decides. Bring up.
I got over stream decks. I don't know if you tweeted yet, Jeff.
No, I'll get it.
My dashboard.
That's what I need. I need Discord open up there.
An activity feed.
All right.
Do messages from people getting the membership showed up on the?
We don't think so.
Stuff?
We don't think so.
That's crazy. Like it doesn't show up in Stream Elements, but it should show up on YouTube.
I'll just read them as they come in.
Yeah, it shows up live in the chat and then the chat replay, just not in Stream Elements for whatever reason.
That's crazy. So annoying. Oh, change your Twitter handle to Tuck when Tear of the Kingdoms comes out, Mike.
To what?
To Tuck, Tear of the Kingdom.
Oh, Totok.
I get it now.
I love Zelda Totok.
Took me a second, but I got there.
That's just gross, dude.
Yeah, that's what we do here. Okay, sorry about that, everybody. I think, that's another one.
You got the music?
Of course. So let's check it. I think it's gonna work the first time, boys. Here it goes. Not loud enough for you, but yeah.
It's very soft, but I can hear it.
Yeah.
Hey, very nice.
Okay, and then they heard it, and I think it was the right. Yeah, that's right. That's the right volume. Okay, I'm ready if you are, Mike.
I don't think you tweeted.
I'm not ready yet. Hang on.
You're gonna do the stream on Friday?
Yes, I am. We'll talk about it. Top 100. Top 100.
Just in case, people in the chat that wants to play the Among Us thing, download the crew link. It's the voice proximity mod you need.
Let's put where should I say this? Where should I send people in the Discord so they can like see a thread about this or something? I just say
it's just the community.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just gonna.
I'm gonna tell them to check the Discord and Christian playing in the right direction, and then send me that link so I can get it. All right.
Yeah.
Right there, go. I'm tweeting. Let's run it back. All right, I got to do that. I can see chat now. Let me, not stream health. I don't need that. Give me viewer activity so I could see when the Xbox killer sends us money. Okay.
Please.
I'm ready to go. You ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, everybody, we're starting right now. Here we go. 5, 4, 3. The internet, you're busy. Let's do this. Welcome to the Game Mess Decides podcast. This is the podcast where we decide everything about the world games. So you don't have to think for yourself. I was just dancing and I wasn't looking at the rundown. And I know what to say. I've said it more than 100.
Got scared
200 times. I just forgot it as soon as it became time. Every single word left my brain, and I'm like, oh God, where is the tab? And so that little second there where I was laughing was me trying to find the tab. I'm Jeff Grubb. With me is.
Well, Mike Minotti.
In today's episode, we're going to talk about how we were always right. It just took a little bit longer. It takes a little longer sometimes, everybody, but eventually it does happen. There you go. But Mike, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm great now. Yeah, I got Metroid Prime, so that's nice. I took my niece to a book fair at her school, which I think was mostly just like it was nice. It was weird. It was like. The whole thing's like, oh, you have to like take somebody special, which is flattering. But when my brother was telling this, I was like, oh yeah, like am I gonna like talk about my job? So like, no, you're gonna take her to the book fair so she can buy books. I was like, this is just an errand. I mean, I'll do it. But like, why does it have to be that? I'm happy to do it. But yes, it was nice. We went there, went to a hot dog place. It was a good
was the hot dog place named Costco?
No, it was named Coney's.
Okay.
Very good.
That sounds good.
We don't have a Costco here. No.
No, you got a Sam's Club?
We definitely have a Sam's Club. There's been a Sam's Club in these parts as long as Menards have been populating this area.
Ever since we've been tilling the soil, there's been a Sam's Club there tilling it with us.
I loved what I think on Voicemail Dump Truck, Tam was making fun of America for naming places after other places. I think you were about to talk about me living upon Ohio. Then you got scared that I didn't want to. Yeah,
I was like a little bit afraid I was going to dox you. Yes, people could very easily put it together, but I'm assuming we're okay to say Poland, Ohio.
I don't care.
Okay.
ESA has already doxed me.
That's right.
Well, he said Palestine. East Palestine came up because of that train that crashed there. That's pretty close to me. That was fun.
Yeah, they're like burning a lot of toxic stuff that could explode and kill people. So that is fun.
They were worried about that. Yeah, they're worried about that killing us. But I'm still here so far. That's nice.
Yeah, I was looking at the map. I'm like, okay, that's closer to Mike. It'll kill him, but he'll be the canary in the coal mine for me. So if he goes down, I know to get the family and get out. So
that'll be those fools in Columbiana. They'll go first.
Yeah, of course. Well, listen, they hardly count. I have no idea. I don't know anyone there. That was a mean thing to say, and I apologize. Mike, we'll get into this show. First, I want to thank everybody for joining us. You can get more from Mike and me by joining the Discord at GameMess.net. If you want to ask a question, you could do so live on the show. Just use the super chat functionality here on YouTube. We'll answer all those before the end of the show. Thank you to Carlos Ayin, who is Insane in the Rain Music on YouTube for the use of our theme songs. We are on Spotify, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, and wherever pods are caught. Give us a good rating wherever you're listening. It helps people find the show. Also here on YouTube right now, hit that thumbs up button. It really does help people find us when we're live. Thank you to our mods. You could support us by going to patreon.com/GameMess. That's the best way to support us. That gets you access to the private channels in the Discord, the monthly Q&A, 1 month early access to our Jeopardy game, participation in our monthly game club discussions, and, of course, all of our shows ad-free. So if you don't like the ads, well, there you go. You got an answer right there. Also, I'm going to be playing Among Us on stream tomorrow. I'll probably be doing that with the people in the Discord. So come hang out there.
You got a busy day tomorrow. You got that. You've got your top 100 games list you're doing, right?
Yeah. So, that's the plan is tomorrow night on twitch.tv/Jeff Grubb. I'll be doing my top 100 games list. we'll probably start off, getting into it, but we'll also probably that same night, once I get done with my list, play a little Among Us. I really am craving Hitman Freelancer kind of nonstop. It's hard to find time for it because there's so many good games all of a sudden.
There really are. It's kind of rough. Like, it's messed up. I just haven't even thought about touching Dead Space.
Yes, Dead Space is like very quickly going further and further on the back burner, and that's pretty wild. I think what I'm probably going to do is double it up and try to beat it first thing in March to go into Resident Evil 4. And I'm like, I'll just do those back to back. But
yeah, that makes sense.
But we'll see. But yes, if you want to tune in tomorrow night, twitch.tv/JeffGrubb, I'd really appreciate it. We'll probably have some fun. I'll do some community interactions as well. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to doing my top 100. Mike did this a little bit ago. I know right before that, Dan did his. So if people are interested in hearing my takes, there you go. Okay. Mike, I got a couple of big topics I want to talk about. Of course, I'm sure people have their questions, and we'll get to all those. And we have a few other things we're going to work on in the second half of the show. But, of course, this was the week of the Nintendo Direct. We've been saying it for a while. It did happen. They announced it on Monday, right? They announced it on Tuesday. We got it on Wednesday.
Yes.
So how are you feeling about it? I know we did an emergency podcast with Last of the Nintendo Dogs yesterday, so we don't have to go over all the details. But just to give Decides listeners a little update, how are you feeling about it today?
I don't think there's ever a Direct where that night I was having so much fun. After that stream, or after we did our emergency podcast, I was streaming on Twitch and I was playing Metroid Prime for a while. I just checking out all these Game Boy Advance games. I tried the Sea of Stars demo. It was just
I haven't tried
a great
that yet.
time.
Yeah.
And there's even stuff I didn't do, like the Octopath Traveler 2 demo, the Kirby demo. I was just very happy, Jeff. Yeah, I think I even told you like yesterday. I was like, man, this is kind of a weird week. I'm like in a funk. I just completely was uplifted. Just freaking, as soon as I got inside that space station in Metroid Prime, I felt so much better.
Yeah. Turns out those are just great space sci-fi corridors. They've done so many little things. I mean, we've played these things now. I guess that's kind of the direction we can go in. When we did our emergency podcast for Nintendo Dogs yesterday, we were like in the middle of downloading things. Since then, we played a lot of them. Metroid Prime is just fantastic, and they did an excellent job on this remaster. There are some small weird things, like the reflection in the mirror doesn't work. I
would have never noticed that guy in chat didn't point it out. Right. That was more interesting than anything.
Exactly. These aren't problems. It's the kind of things where I notice it, because that's something I always remember, like, oh, she looks so stupid, because it's like basically just a PNG file jumping around.
Nice.
But it's like, yeah, okay, I noticed that, but that's a small thing. Everything else, all the other details are just fantastic. The lighting,
it's good.
It looks
it's
really
probably
good.
The best looking Switch game now.
Yeah, I mean, yes, I think it is. It's incredible looking. And then the character models, the controls, they updated all the controls across the board. It feels so good, so intuitive. It even has like bumper jumper stuff. So if you want to like be actually jumping around and aiming and doing all this other stuff you could never do before, well, now you can do that, and it feels fantastic. It's a game that was always fun to explore, and now it's even better to do that.
And there's like a surprisingly large amount of options with the controls. Like there's like some hybrid options. There's a thing where you can make it so that when you're locked on, you can even use the gyro to adjust your aim, or the right stick to adjust your aim. So all that feels great. You know, like you talked about, you kept saying this was a big boy remaster whenever we were talking about this months ago. And I like always didn't really know what you meant, or kind of didn't believe you.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what it is. It is like skirting that line to feeling more like a remake.
Yeah, it's
almost.
right there.
I mean, part of it is that Metroid Prime was just always looks good, right? Even the GameCube, it looks so much better than anything else at the time. It's like this great jumping off point for a game from that generation. But this is a really good looking remaster, and I mean, it's just one of the best games ever. And now I'm playing it on my Switch. It's just so cool. And I know a lot of us are already over the whole, wow, I'm playing so and so portably. But man, it doesn't seem like that long ago to me, Jeff, where I was playing Metroid Prime Hunters. It was like, well, they had to make a lot of compromises, but it is kind of Metroid Prime portably. And now this is just this is the best way to play this great game now, and it's portable.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah, it really is awesome. Some of the other small things I noticed, the footsteps is walking through the corridors. I mean, maybe that stuff was there. Whatever they did to make it more noticeable, it is more noticeable to me now. And it's not just random footstep noises. Something they're doing there, it's like, no, it really sounds like Samus Aran's, big mechanical boots stepping on those cool sci-fi steel floors. and her steps sound like they're falling exactly when she would fall as I'm moving, and it's like Retro just continues to be this studio that blows me away. I know it's not a lot of the same people, but boy, the attention to detail is still there.
I mean, it just like how good this remaster is, kind of raises my hopes for Metroid Prime 4, right? Like, and you always wonder, like, man, this had to be kind of good practice for that, or just,
I think so.
just the fact that the people making Metroid Prime 4 were forced to look at Metroid Prime 1 so much makes me glad. Like, yes, get really deep into that. Understand what made that work so well. So hopefully we can capture that magic again. I wonder if they hit any little like Easter eggs or something in this new version about Metroid Prime 4. I wonder if we're gonna find something discovered there.
I mean, we're probably gonna find the shrine to Tommy Tallarico, right? I mean,
well, of course he deserves such.
Yeah, of course he does.
Yeah. Do we know if there's a way to use the Zero suit, or the fusion suit in this version?
I don't know, but I just playing it, it feels like something they would not have overlooked, right? They probably would have found a way to do it.
Except for that reflection. I mean, the game is coming to NSO in not too long. It'd be kind of neat they found a way to somehow make it work. Like, if you access it on your Switch that way, then it's just unlocked in there. That'd be cool.
Yeah,
gosh, Jeff, it's just such a good game.
And the thing you said about Metroid Prime 4 having more hope, that's exactly what I was thinking. I was wondering if you felt the same way. I think a lot of people are kind of taking that away from this. And it is just cool to see so many people playing it now. And it's a lot of people being like, oh my God, I am going back to my favorite game. And it is still my favorite game. It turns out it still holds up.
Good.
And then a lot of other people being like, okay, what is this? And kind of like, all right, you guys have built this up so much. And the backlash from those people hasn't started yet. I hope it doesn't. I'm assuming they're just going to really, really enjoy it because it is actually a good game.
It is actually good. Especially, I mean, the only thing I think they could have ever complained about before was the controls. And, we were always fine with it. I think then I played the Wii version. I preferred that. But look, like, I could play that game with the old controls. They made it work really well. It was designed with that. They did things like aiming the camera down when you jumped, which you can still turn on in the options in this one. But now that I have the dual stick controls, I'm like, oh yeah, this is better.
Yeah,
I'll play the game like this now.
It like doesn't break the game in any way. I mean, maybe it makes it a little bit easier, but I mean, whatever. But
it was never about shooting things.
It was always
locked on.
I'm still locking on for every like major fight.
Right.
They're built for that. They are actually like, chaotic things moving around all the time because then they stop and you lock on and then you shoot them. And so, okay, of course. And
there's complexity to fights. It's usually more about you dodging than you aiming, which is what it's like the Z targeting thing.
Yeah,
right.
it's exactly like Z targeting. It's about learning these like larger patterns rather than these really finite movements with a stick. And it's very good.
Now, I know that this is kind of a bullshit comparison. I know.
Let's go.
But being the guy who was always kind of poo-pooing GoldenEye, and won't shut up about Metroid Prime, I've been kind of smirking this last couple of days here, Jeff. And I get it. Metroid Prime's a bit newer. It got a much better remaster job here.
Yes,
but still, I'm like,
I mean,
because there's a lot of people who go to GoldenEye like, I don't get it. What people saw, and I'm not like, I get it. This isn't fair at all. This is very shitty of me, and yet I'm still giggling.
All right, well, we'll let you have that. I mean, I don't think, at least I never would have said anything like GoldenEye comes anywhere close to standing up to what Metroid Prime did. Metroid Prime is sort of in a tier by itself in terms of early 3D games that still hold up today.
I'm bullying GoldenEye, but it's okay because Jeff said you can't.
Stop up on me!
No, you can't bully things, Jeff. Well, you can't bully adults.
That's right.
GoldenEye an adult, it's pretty old.
Yeah, I think I'm safe to. No, I'm not allowed to bully GoldenEye because it's an adult. That's right. Shit.
Hey, you know what else rules? Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games. They are these. It's a really good lineup they have already here. Even like, okay, I'll say it. Alone in the Dark. I like just had to play it. I'm like, what the hell is this?
I have to try that thing. I have to.
I mean, they really did just make a Resident Evil style game and put it on a Game Boy Color. Or Game Boy, if you prefer.
Wait, I can't find the Game Boy Color launcher, though. I was looking in the store. I couldn't find it.
We're not. No, you shut the hell up.
I said there was plenty of time.
I'm still gloating about GoldenEye. I'm feeling good now,
It's so good looking when you load it up and it's that big red screen.
It's awesome. Yeah, but like that alone, most of these games are just great games. I also like having weird things here, like the port for Alone in the Dark. I'm happy getting that stuff too. Now, if it's you get 1 or 2 games a month, I understand why it's annoying getting something like that. But man, I hope we just keep getting stuff. We get the weird stuff but kind of interesting stuff. Like, what if we put Alone in the Dark on Game Boy and don't make it like something sensible, like a top-down game? Let's still make it walking around areas with pre-rendered backgrounds or something. I love it. But
sorry, I'm tweeting angrily at Doug Bowser to put Stuntman for Game Boy Advance on Nintendo Switch Online. That's a good one. All right, there we go.
But I mean, Gargoyle's Quest, I played that, and I haven't played that one before. It's really good. Super Mario Land 2, still just so much fun. Like that game plays so much like a regular Mario game, especially compared to the first Mario Land, which I still do one on there, but Mario Land 2.
Right, they hadn't figured it out with Mario Land 1. Mario Land 1 is like a different thing. It doesn't even feel as good to play as Super Mario Brothers, but it's still, I mean, got some top tier music and some cool stuff in it.
No, exactly. So yeah, it's been really good. But I mean, the Game Boy Advance stuff, even though there's just 6 of those, they are all great in some way. You know what? Like my favorite game has been so far.
What?
Kuru.
Yeah,
I've been playing that.
So
like
good.
I was playing that on the stream.
Irritating Stick is really fun, and that version of it, Kuro for the Game Boy Advance, is really good.
So much fun. It's great. I mean, my only relationship to it was because you had to play it on Arcade Pit. I don't think I even played it. This is neat too, because this game never actually came out in the US. It was published in Europe. That's why it's in English, and it was easy for them to do. But like, yeah, it's just like a super fun. I don't even know what to call it. Challenge run game. You know, it's a bit neon whitish.
Yeah, because you can try to like go speed through those levels and try to like set times for sure. Yeah. I did play Irritating Stick, and I just don't know why my friend had this game, because it's like I knew about it from magazines, but I was like, why would anyone else care about this? This seems like a cool thing, and I know the people that I would read in magazines who referenced it were like, oh, I love Irritating Stick, but PlayStation 1 in the United States, it was just not a very common thing, and yet one of my friends had it, and I played it. And then to see it like, oh, I guess this is like a whole genre, or at least some people copied it, and with Kuro, and yeah, that game is it's very fun. It's colorful. It's got a really good Game Boy Advance.
Great music.
Yeah, good music. It's got that bubbly Game Boy Advance sort of visual style.
It's a Game Boy Advance Game Boy Advance game.
Yeah, I like it. I'm like,
it's super fun. I'm gonna be even more annoying than ever, Jeff, about making you play Minish Cap.
Yeah, it's happening. It'll happen.
Everyone should play Minish Cap.
Like, I don't think I ever like really fully played through Wario Land 3. It's a game I've definitely played a lot of.
Very good.
But I don't think I ever was like, this is actually a game I'm playing and beating and all that stuff. I think I mostly like taste tested it several times, and probably for like hours at a time. But I'm like, I'm gonna play that as well.
It's worth beating. That's for sure.
Yeah, but Gargoyle's Quest is awesome too. It's always
super fun.
Yeah, it's not a lot of games, but it's so
It kind of feels like, well, for like Game Boy Advance specifically, it's just 6. But in general, all of it, it's kind of a lot.
Yeah, I mean, let's take. I think if we take Game Boy and Game Boy Advance like together as things that, like, if you want to play one, you probably want to play the other. If you want to play the Game Boy games, you definitely then want to play the Game Boy Advance games. I get some younger audiences being like, I'm not sure about the Game Boy games, but this is like well after, for the most part, NES, where they were still figuring out some stuff in terms of how do we make these things fun to play for extended period, or fun to come back to. A lot of that stuff had been figured out. So like The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening is just it comes after, Link to the Past. That's not after the NES Zeldas. That's after a Link to the Past.
Yeah.
So that's that team like just experimenting, do all kinds of other fun stuff, and it's like you can go back to that game. Obviously, there's the remake, but if you haven't played the remake, this is just as good. You could just have just as much fun playing that. So, and all the games are sort of in that vein. Like the fun part was figured out. It's just they are kind of scrunched down to be on the Game Boy, and at this point, that's just kind of cool. It's a cool thing.
You know what? Which game also just still really, really rules is the original WarioWare. That is still just so much fun.
Yes, it's a game that I bought so many times when it was launched on the Wii U eShop. I bought it there, and I would play there. I would play it there like all the time. I'd like just boot up my Wii U randomly sometimes. Like, oh yeah, I have WarioWare on here, and I'll play it. So it's great to have that yet again. And I just hope more people. That's how I feel about most of these games that got announced at this Direct in general. Mm-hmm. Metroid Prime, Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. Like everyone should just be playing these games. And it turns out you go on Twitch, like 20 people streaming Minish Cap last night. All of a sudden, it's like, okay, it's happening. This is exactly what I want, and it's cool. So we can all kind of gather around and have these conversations again. It's really on that front. It's a really well done thing.
Yeah. I'm gonna be obnoxious too when the Oracle games come out.
Yes, that's
another good Zelda game.
Yeah, and that's those Capcom Zeldas that I just overlooked.
Yeah, I like Capcom Zeldas, that's for sure. The only other thing I did play was that Sea of Stars demo, which I enjoyed. I think you're gonna like it because it's very pretty and it's just Mario RPG combat.
Okay, very cool. It looks so fun.
Yeah, the demo's a bit weird because like you get to fight one battle and then there's like a lot of story stuff in the demo.
That's never.
And
a
then
good
you can
idea.
try some more battles. So it's like you do the one battle and you just barely scratch the surface of what the combat's like, and you want to do more. And it's like, okay, now like we're gonna show you how good we are at telling stories, but you're plopped in the middle of a story and you don't know these characters, you don't care. So I was kind of just skipping through it. I was pulling a Jeff. I was like, look, I'll care about this when I do play the
I'll care about when I care about it. Yeah.
Right. I don't care. I want to go fight some more things. But the combat seemed really good, and it's a very pretty pixel game. So I'm looking forward to it.
One of the other things I played it for just a second, but it's $1, and it's Power Pros Baseball from Konami. And this is a series that has always been very good. I played it on the DS way back when they were releasing it, but they released it for $1 because they're trying to get everyone to play it. It is not just some cheap game, though. I mean, it is a game that they make on with an affordable budget, of course. Yes, and it doesn't have the licenses, as far as I can tell, at least in the United States, Major League Baseball licenses. But it's a really fun, well done baseball game, and you probably, if you are someone who's bought anything on the eShop ever, you probably have 100 gold coins where you could just go and get this for free right now. And I think it's a pretty good get. It's especially if you have any affinity for baseball. So I kind of want to just throw that out there as a rec. Go ahead and keep an eye out for that.
Well, Jeff, is there anything you want to talk about besides all this Nintendo stuff we've been playing?
I want
a lot of Nintendo stuff this week.
One other thing, The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom is $70, Mike. $70.
Yeah, I don't want to be the guy who why are you whining about spending more money?
Let's go. I'll take my money. I don't care. I need that
Jeff,
thing.
people already got mad at you once this week.
Yeah, well, listen, those people aren't people and don't count. The people who are going to get mad at me for telling the corporation to take more of my money and charge other people more, well, fair enough. You probably should be mad at me. You probably should.
I guess I am. I don't know. I'm always surprised that people are this mad. Like, the other two have done it. You think Nintendo was never going to charge more than $60 for a game?
I actually, at this point, I've been over it since PlayStation did it for the most part. I mean, people want to criticize PlayStation for doing it that entire time. I was like, yeah, let them criticize. It's not going to change anything. But people are allowed to be like, I don't think this is worth it. And if that's how you feel about this, okay. But okay, it's not gonna, nothing's gonna change. It's just gonna be what it is. And yeah, I think it's funny that Nintendo is, though, being like, well, not every game's going to be 70. And I think they also said it's not going to be a trend. Mike, it's going to be a trend. It's definitely going to be a trend.
Become more of a trend. Yeah.
Yes.
There will be plenty of games that are going to cost $70. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm surprised people are spending a lot of energy being upset about it. I guess I'm a little surprised that there are so many people claiming that this is they're not going to buy it now.
I know,
but again, people always say things.
People say lots of stuff, right? But
people say lots of things.
Yeah, it gets very frustrating when it's like, I'm not going to pay $70 for a 720p game. I'm like, motherfucker.
That stuff. Well, then it's like I can't even take him seriously.
Yes, exactly. I'm like, you are just a clown. Like, please be quiet. I don't like that matters at all, and it doesn't, of course, but. People are looking for reasons to be like, this is unfair to gamers' rights, and
gamers' rights. Let's go. Gamers' rights. The gamer right to set our own prices for video games. I guess,
yeah. But whatever. Sean says it. It's a situation where, of course, it sucks to pay more money for things, but we're all going to do it. We're all going to do it.
That's why I'm like, yeah, of course it sucks. But I guess I'm weird. It's surprised people are like, why is this happening? Like, what do you mean, why is it happening? Like, you don't have to spend more than 2 seconds to know why it's happening.
And it just so many people they do get in that mindset of like, well, if it isn't costing them more, and then blah blah blah. Like, first of all that stuff it probably is, but who cares? It is just. Think about it from your heart. Like, if you had something that people wanted and you could charge more for it and you wouldn't, Like you wouldn't. I don't believe you. I know you would. That's what we do. It's what we're all supposed to do. Like, you're supposed to charge as much for the things that you make as possible, and you're supposed to try to pay people as little as possible for the thing you want. So I get the clash there, but when you have something that you're going to sell, like, you're going to charge as much as possible for it, and that's what's happening here. So,
hey, look, I get it, man. I get codes for a lot of my games, whatnot. If you think I'm full of shit, that's fine.
Yeah, 100. You would completely in the comments, if you want to call us shitheads for this, I think you should. Fair enough.
I think you should.
Yeah, I just can't.
I'm in a better
anymore.
place now. Tuesday would have bothered me. Today I got Metroid Prime. You can call me a shithead.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to be busy playing fun video games, so you can call me whatever you want about this. I'm fine.
Right. There's too many people saying my face looks like or my head looked like a testicle on Tuesday, but today I can handle it.
Right. We're all doing better now. We got our balls in the right place now. Okay, today, in response to the CMA filing their whatever with Microsoft, basically they handed a piece of paper to Microsoft being like, here's why trying to acquire Activision is some bullshit, and here's some stuff you could do to make it less bullshit that we might actually approve. And the immediate reaction to that, and I think from myself and a lot of other people, was, well, this is looking really, really bad for this deal to go through. It seems very unlikely today that this deal is going to go through. And the reason I thought that is, I don't understand the CMA and the laws in the UK. They seem to have much stricter regulation there and in Europe. So if the EC and the CMA are both sort of like coming at Microsoft 1-2 at the same time, well, that's all she wrote. Now, maybe that's the case. I'm just sort of assuming that. But our boy Michael Pachter, who may or may not know what he's talking about, but he put forward his theory that really what's happening here is that these regulators are jockeying and vying, trying to get ahead of one another because they know they're all going to have to end up settling with Microsoft because none of them have a strong case. So the CMA is sort of rushing ahead to be the one that has to sit at the table first with Microsoft, so they can get the PR for saying we forced Microsoft into a situation where they settled with us and made concessions, and then everyone else said, well, that deal's fine, we'll let that go through. Do you buy that? Because I'm not sure if I do, but it's whatever.
No, I think there's something in the middle here. Maybe I don't know. That seems like, what is he basing this off of? It's as a thing you say it sounds plausible. I don't know. I'm with you. Like you read that CMA report, at least parts of it. I'm not saying I read the whole thing, but it's like their recommendations or whatever was basically just they need to split off Call of Duty to its own thing, or split off Blizzard to its own thing, or cancel the deal. Were like the options. And I was like, oh, those are the options for you? Yeah, and like you said, there's this cross attack happening with the FCAA or
FTC, the EC, and the CMA.
I can't keep track of all these letters.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Regulators.
Just say regulators.
Is.
Oh,
yeah,
God,
regulators. Thank you.
All right, cool. Wow.
Yeah, so
I don't know what Game Boy Color is. It's a Game Boy.
Oh, fuck you. Look, I'll burn this stream, all right? I think I said that as if that will hurt you.
Yeah, it's indestructible now after Metroid Prime got announced. You're never getting rid of it.
Yeah, I was holding the bag of hair, audio listeners.
The audio listeners get a bag of my hair. They understood. They know now. They've been listening long enough. They know that sound is bag of hair.
Yeah,
bag of Jeff Grubb's hair.
Just know I'm wanting the hair.
That's Mike's house. So yeah, everyone can place it.
I don't fucking know, Jeff. I don't know what's going on with this deal anymore. Like, nothing would surprise me. No outcome would surprise me anymore.
Yeah, I'm kind of at the same point where if tomorrow we hear Microsoft is like, listen, we've had these conversations now for a long time, and the complaints that the CMA brought really made us realize we're not going to be able to get this through without having to get shut off Call of Duty, and that makes the deal not worth it. We're just going to pay our fine and be on our way. I wouldn't be surprised. It's
a big fine, though. It's billions of dollars.
It's $2 billion. I think it's $3 billion here pretty soon. Yeah, it's a big fine. So, I mean, but I don't know. The more I think about it, the more, because the FTC's case, I do know is weak based on U.S. regulation. But I also think, well, that might not matter because they're trying all these other strategies to derail it. And I was thinking, okay, well, the CMA and the EU are all doing the same thing. And I bet their cases are stronger because they have stronger regulation. That's just me assuming because I don't know the laws there. But it's like, I'm doing the rough napkin math in my head. It's like, well, then the easiest thing there is just to give up and pay that fine. but I don't know. I guess we'll see here pretty soon. We're in February. This deal right now is still supposed to close in June, so there's still months where anything can happen. I guess the next thing we do here, whether or not Microsoft was able to bring more remedies to the CMA. I guess the one other side of this is the CMA said, we considered some remedies that we came up with that might be okay, but any of the remedies that Microsoft has announced publicly, we have not considered yet. And one of those being Microsoft saying, hey, for 10 years, we will give Call of Duty as is complete parity for any platform to Sony, Nintendo, Steam. And so the CMA is like, well, we will consider that in the next phase. And so, okay, so they haven't even thought about that. And so we don't even really know if that is a remedy that the CMA is okay with. They haven't even dismissed it yet. So it looks like, really, honestly, we just still have a long way to go. That seems to be where we're at once again with this thing. So,
Sure.
Oh boy, a lot of fun.
Fun.
Finally, Sony might have acquired another studio. Let me bring this up real quick. In a job listing, Sony had a bunch of studios listed, and this was a new one, and I had the name somewhere, and I'm going to try to find it real quick. But I mean, does that sound like something that could slip into the bottom of a job listing to you, Mike? Like, oh, we're working with this studio, like Fire Sprite, and this studio and that studio, and then a new studio that's never been announced before.
Ballistic Moon.
Yeah, Ballistic Moon. Thank you, chat. Yes,
But next, Ballistic Moon. No, that was in chat. Thank you, me.
Oh, you looked that up? Wow, I just didn't know you had the capability. Ballistic Moon. All right, Ballistic Moon. I'm looking it up.
They're still listed as private. Ballistic Moon is still listed as private on some .gov.uk website.
Ballistic
so I'm not
Moon
sure what exactly is going on.
We are an established game studio based in the southeast of England. With a growing team of highly experienced developers, we focus on creating the exceptional, innovative games of our future. We're currently working with a AAA publisher in the early stages of a major new project, as well as our own IP.
I guess that AAA publisher is Microsoft then.
Or Sony, you mean.
Or Sony, excuse me, Sony, sorry.
Yeah, Duncan Kershaw. Wow, Duncan this is the production and business director. He has worked in video games for 30 years. He started in 1980 creating a raft of games on the legendary Commodore 64. I mean, I definitely think this is true, mostly because, a studio in England, yeah, they probably bought that. Jim Ryan would love that.
Jim Ryan's legally required to.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. This creative director is Neil McEwen. He worked on Syndicate for EA. All right, there we go. Okay, so yeah,
was that the game that came out, or is that something else I'm thinking about?
What?
Agent's the other one. I always get Agent and Syndicate. I get Agent, that Rockstar game that never came out, mixed up with
Agent didn't come out. Syndicate did come out. It was like a 2012 EA Partners game that they made. That was a remake of the old Syndicate games. He also did Dead Overkill, or House of Dead Overkill. That's why I'm like, what is Dead Overkill? No, it's House of the Dead Overkill. Okay.
Right.
Cool.
I vaguely remember that. Well, okay.
Yeah. And then on Chris Lamb, I thought I recognized that name. He worked on Until Dawn and as lead engineer on Until Dawn Rush of Blood. Okay. So, yeah, they have relationships with Sony in multiple different ways.
Somebody just posted a link to a Gamatsu story about this from August of last year. So this might be old news even. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Because, this thing here is talking about working on a new game published by Sony Interactive Entertainment. I don't know what's going on with this.
Oh, yeah. They might have. That might be them announcing that they're working with Sony, but it seems like Sony is saying in that job listing that they've actually fully acquired them, which I think probably would be new, right? But, oh well.
I suppose.
Okay.
I have a nice logo. I'll say that about this Ballistic.
I like that. So for audio listeners, it just is like Ballistic in a sans font, sans serif font, and then Moon, and then the second O is like an exploding moon, and it's blowing up all over the other O.
We are looking at different logos.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind then. What's yours?
Mine is this one for this Gamatsu story where there's 3 rockets going around the moon.
All right. Well. Weird.
They can't even pick a logo.
Yeah,
I don't know about these guys.
That's gonna be a real mess for Sony. Sorry, Jim Ryan, you got another loser on your hands. Okay, Mike. Any other stories happening this week that you want to talk about?
No.
All right. Here's what we should do. We should read some super chats right after this. All right, Mike. You know what it's time for.
It's time to shave my balls.
It's time to shave Mike Minotti's balls, everybody. Let's hit the button. Hang on. There we go. It's time to shave Mike Minotti's balls, everybody. Mike, listen, I love Metroid Prime, but I'm not going to play it feeling dirty. You know this about me. When I'm going to play a new video game, that I want to feel fresh, I want to feel clean, and the best way to accomplish that is with the help of Manscaped. This is why I'm happy that Manscaped is supporting Game Mess. This episode is brought to you by Manscaped, which is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Their products are precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped's Performance Package is the ultimate men's hygiene bundle. Join over 7 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you. 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code MESS at manscaped.com. That's MESS for 20% off and free worldwide shipping. Mike, I've been continuing to use these products, especially the hedge trimmer 4.0, and it's been reliable. The battery lasts forever. I'm like really happy with it. It's like maintenance becomes super easy. It's, the first time I was really getting, I had to really take care of the bush. It was getting out of hand. Now it's just like really quick, smooth action, and I'm in and out, and I'm feeling better than ever. How about you?
It's like that first brownie. The first brownie always comes out really messy, but then it gets. It's exactly like that.
It's exactly that analogy is perfect for what is happening in my downstairs area. The Performance Package 4.0 has arrived, and oh man, it's a game changer. Inside this package, you'll find their Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, the Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, Crop Preserver ball deodorant, Crop Reviver toner, performance boxer briefs, and a travel bag to hold all your goodies. The Lawnmower 4.0, this is the trimmer of the future, and dare I say, the greatest ball trimmer ever made. Their 4th generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin safe technology. The Lawnmower 4.0 is waterproof and also has a 4,000 Kelvin LED spotlight that for when you need a more precise shave. Now, 4,000 Kelvin, Mike, I learned is like that's the temperature of the color of the light. It doesn't have anything.
My friends also had questions about the Kelvin thing when I got drunk and was screaming about my new sponsorship to them.
Yeah, do you explain that it's not the Kelvin scale? So this is not going to be 4,000 degrees Kelvin, basically incinerating your body when you turn it on. That's not what's happening here, everybody.
No, I think I just yelled at them about how they don't know what they're talking about, they should save 20% on their order.
White light, that's what it means. Yeah. So you can get in there, and it's not going to be a harsh white light. It's going to be like a natural light, so you know what it's going to look like down there. They don't make that big of a deal out of the flashlight, even though I want to. Because this trimmer is waterproof, you could say goodbye to the mess on the bathroom floor. You thought that was good, but want to take your grooming game even further to the next level? The Performance Package 4.0 also includes the Weed Whacker nose and ear hair trimmer. Mike, you've been having good luck with this thing, right?
Yeah, it's been great because I do get a lot of nose hair specifically. They're always itchy and bothersome, and this has really helped nip that in the bud, which is very nice.
Yes, the Weed Whacker is also waterproof and provides proprietary skin-safe technology, which helps to reduce those nicks, snags, and tugs in those delicate nose holes.
Do you have any more rhymes? Because I got a rhyme.
I don't know. This is not the rhyme-heavy one, but I want to hear yours.
Well, my rhyme, Jeff, is that Mike Minotti thinks it's a crime if you have hairy balls while playing Metroid Prime.
Manscaped even threw in 2 free gifts through their Performance Package 4.0, the Manscaped Boxers and the Shed Travel Bag. Bring your comfort and boxers to another level. I've been wearing these boxers all day today, and they are so comfy.
I just washed my Manscaped boxers today, so I'm very excited that I get to wear them tomorrow.
They go right to the top of the rotation for me. Yes, so I've been really enjoying them. It's time to take care of yourself. So go to manscaped.com and get 20% off plus free shipping worldwide with the code MESS. That's MESS. 20% off, free shipping worldwide with code MESS at manscaped.com. Okay, we can come back whenever you want, Mike. Otherwise, if you have to use the potty or anything, let me know.
I'm good.
Okay, let's do this. Let me see where we're at. All right, we're gonna do hot mess and king shit. Do you have something?
Oh, we're doing super chats.
Oh, we're doing super chats as well. Yeah, but do you have something for hot mess and king shit?
Yes.
Okay, and then would you rather do what is the dark side of the moon of gaming, which is something we talked about on Voicemail Dump Truck today, or 1 month in, how is 2023 doing in terms of delivering on what could be the best gaming year ever?
I didn't finish Dump Truck. Explain Dark Side of the Moon of Gaming.
Dark Side of the Moon of Gaming is basically like Dark Side of the Moon is this album that sort of was this great band coming. Like what would be equivalent to the Dark Side of the Moon in music, but for games?
I want to do that. Whatever you're gonna have to explain to me even more.
Yeah, I'll explain more. I figured it'd be better for actually.
That sounds more interesting than just saying, yeah, the year's been great.
Yeah,
so
I think it hasn't been long enough in. That's why I was like kind of put that down there. Okay, cool. All right, I'll bring us back in. All right, Mike, hit me with those super chats.
All right, here from B. Traven, who says, Tears of the Kingdom trailer makes me think it will have Souls influence. I didn't mean to laugh at you, Traven, but it focused on the Blood Moon because that will respawn enemies at every heal point / grace. I only laughed because somehow we got to, this is a nuts and bolts like game. I appreciate you pulling us back to Souls influence.
Yeah, thank you for keeping us on brand. Everything's has to be like Souls. Thank you for finding the thread.
I hope that like that team, especially Enuma, like has no idea what nuts and bolts is, and they thought they developed this really interesting system, and now they're like mad and or embarrassed that they accidentally just took something from Banjo-Kazooie nuts and bolts and have made it a major point of their new Zelda game.
It's wild.
It's great.
I did a shit post about that. Like Saberwolf was definitely an influence for Legend of Zelda. Like Nintendo had worked with Rare for a long time. And they had a relationship, so they would have looked into what they had done before. So yeah, Saberwolf on the ZX Spectrum, they would have gone and looked at that. Is it okay if I say ZX Spectrum, or should I, as Americans, say ZX Spectrum? What do you think?
Jeff, you're gonna have to follow your heart on that one, buddy.
ZX Spectrum.
Saberwolf really predate Zelda by that much?
It does. Well, I mean, enough that it could have influenced.
Well, back then,
yes.
Like, yeah, back then, like 6 months is like 10 years.
And I think
more than 10 years.
I think it was like more than a year, even. So, and it, it has the same kind of like you go from screen to screen, and it's like a maze and stuff, and yeah, there's a lot of clear connections there. Now, a lot of it could be coincidence, but it feels like its influence is apparent in The Legend of Zelda. And then it's funny to like go all that time later and see another Rare game be a major influence for a Zelda game, potentially. Again, this could just be them coming to these answers on their own, but it looks a lot like nuts and bolts.
It can't be overstated, Jeff, just how much it looks like nuts and bolts.
Yes.
Like those weird little like platform vehicles that seem like too wide. It looks so much like nuts and bolts. And again, I'm not complaining. Like, I'm mostly like amused about it. It is wild. God, I need more details.
Yeah, I want them to just come out and explain exactly how that works. And it's, I mean, even in nuts and bolts, didn't you have like the wrench that had sort of the beam come out of it so you could pick stuff up and like place it? And that's like how you move stuff in Breath of the Wild. So
we're gonna find out that Anuma's favorite video game ever is just Banjo-Kazooie nuts and bolts.
I hope so. God, that would rule.
That would be just the greatest thing ever. I would be so excited if that's the case. Next one here is from Alex PSX, who says, just wanted to say the Hogwarts devs deserve just the same amount of praise as the devs from Metroid Prime. Don't let one person ruin hard work. Man, I've been doing my best to avoid this, and then the Super Chat had to pull me in.
Yeah, I mean, they'll get as much praise as any. I mean, the team worked hard on it.
I mean, I have no praise. I haven't played it, so I have no praise to give.
Yeah, that's what's good. Like, I can always say I haven't played it. All I could say is it's hard to ship a video game, and they shipped a video game.
I mean, more importantly, it seems like they're selling a lot of copies, so I think they're all doing just fine.
Right. They honestly, they don't need to. The praise is not actually going to go that far when you're making that much money. So yeah, hopefully they all get big bonuses. Who knows if that was in their contracts? Usually that stuff is related to like critical reception and not like how the game sells. So hopefully they do get money on top of what they did.
Which is stupid, right? Like, who really cares what Metacritic you get anymore?
Yeah.
Next one here's from AMPM Video. Hi, Mike Epcotty Minotti. Oh, I never thought of that. And Jeff Mother Brain Grubb. Superstar Saga has the sick suitcase style for the menus. What are some of your favorite menu looks? Man, just like in the Game Boy Advance games and in Metroid Prime, the menus and just the UI, so much better than what we have now for the most part. I mean, one of the best things about Metroid Prime is just the HUD, right? Like, that's the greatest HUD in video games.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, it rules. But this is a fun question, though.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. It's like racking my brain. But of the stuff I played last night, I'm not sure if this is a menu or if it was like a border on the games. But what's his name? The first guy in WarioWare's sort of level, he has the W phone, and of course it just looks like a Nokia phone. I think it does have there is like menu elements to that as well. But yeah, it just brings up. I just like, oh yeah, W phone, Wario phone. Of course he's like selling cell phones as well. Everything in that game is great like that, though. All the UX is great.
Yeah. The Persona 5 obviously has a fantastic menu and stuff, and everyone's talked about it. But it is true they did a incredible job.
What's the menu like in Alone in the Dark: The New Nightmare?
Sparse, Spartan.
Smart. Okay.
Oh, this probably have the same root word. Now I think about it, huh?
Yeah, probably, huh?
That's probably why those words sound the same.
I should have taken Latin.
Nah, the only people I know who took Latin were really Spartan. They hated it. Let's see here now. Next one here is from Rogers OG, who says, "Do you think Nintendo is already working on Metroid Prime 2/3 remaster, or will they wait to see how this first one sells before they commit to it?"
They were already working on it. Yep, that was reported originally by someone called Jeff Grubb. After Metroid Prime, they are going to release those 2 and 3, but where Metroid Prime 1 is a big boy remaster, the other 2 will just be remasters. They will just be mostly up-resed, maybe some cleanup on textures here and there, obviously the new control systems, things like that, but it's not going to have quite as much attention, or quite the amount of attention that Metroid Prime 1 got. So when they're coming, I don't know. They're supposed to come later, and they were always supposed to come later. That's how it was always supposed to work.
It's weird because it's like, okay, well, that's better than nothing, and those games look good enough that'll probably be fine. Just they were already in widescreen on the the Wii and everything, but it is gonna be kind of a bummer after seeing how good this Metroid Prime remaster looks. Again, I get it. I like those 2 games. I'm excited to play them again. They are not the first Metroid Prime. I understand why it's not maybe getting as much attention. Who knows? You think there's any chance if this remaster does super well, better than they thought, maybe they'll take more time for 2 and 3, or is that just not in the cards at all?
I think they might take more time, but I bet not. I think mostly they know that Metroid Prime 1 is the important one, even if it does super well. Its shine on the other 2 will only go so far.
You know what's funny is that there's actually almost an exact parallel for this when the Resident Evil remake came out for GameCube, right? They did they released Resident Evil 2, 3, and Code Veronica, and they were basically just up-res ports.
Yes, I think it's going to be similar.
Okay, next one here is from Rigo Romero, who says, "Hey, Jeff, do you think your story mimics Jesus? You're shamed for your words last year, and now you have resurrected with the truth, Shadow Drop, lol. Jeff, are you Jesus? And if so, I'm gonna have to disown my relationship to you."
Yeah, so I think it's a kind of a 1-2 situation. I mean, Jesus went through a lot, but let's be clear. Obviously, I went through more because just wanted to see your face. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty similar, but obviously there's.
I gotta call my priest right now.
There's other stories in the Bible. The story of Samson and Delilah. Mike, are you Delilah in that situation? I don't know. But
I mean, you. I guess you're Samson because didn't Samson have the hair that got cut off and he lost his power. So yes, I'm not Samson.
Well, yeah. So I had my hair cut off, but my powers remain. So at least I'm greater than Samson for sure. And I think Samson was better than Jesus too. So we'll see.
Yeah, Samson's is a weird Old Testament story, anyways. Whatever.
Yeah, I actually don't know the details. The only Old Testament story I know is Job, and that guy got fucked up.
Yeah. D Jones says, "First Hi-Fi Rush, and now with Metroid. I don't understand why people are surprised / mad about these games being cheaper than they think they should be. These companies have to project these all out. No, I mean."
Who's mad?
Mad maybe isn't the word.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think anybody's really complaining about Metroid Prime Remaster. Although, and again, feel free to be mad at me. I would have paid $60.
Yep, I would have paid $60 too.
I mean, yeah, to be clear, I did get a code for this eventually, and it probably only took 30 minutes after it became available. I did not wait. I just went and bought it because it's Metroid Prime. I do stupid things for that. Right. Hi-Fi Rush was maybe more philosophical for me complaining about that because I just worry about, I don't know, some kind of precedent maybe I'm imagining in my head where great looking cartoon game, cheap, great looking, Last of Us / Gears, realistic thing. That's expensive. That's a big boy game. Well, Hi-Fi Rush is the small side project. That's really what I was getting at there more so than the whole price thing, really.
Yep. Same here. And I was never mad. I was just like, I think they should charge more. But yeah, I mean, you're right. They got to project these out, and I guess it's still somewhat of relief that in some cases they're projecting these games should be lower. Maybe it means they have the capacity to still sell games at that price, but I don't think that's going to last long anyhow. So, because simps like me keep saying I'll spend more. So sorry, my bad. Call me a simp.
I offered that Metroid Prime Remaster code to my 2 writers, and like neither of them jumped at claiming it, and I yelled at them.
Did you? Okay, thank you.
I did. I was like, "This is the greatest game of all time. You two should be fighting over this code." I'm like, "Oh, I was busy. Yeah, sure
right.
You were.
All right,
tell
them Uncle Jeff is glad that Mike yelled at you.
All right, good. Yeah, hope they'll like to hear that. Alex says, with the price of Zelda going up, how high could they price it before you started to feel remorse? This isn't a trap. I don't work for Nintendo.
Did you hear how much Blessing and Tim Geddes said they would pay?
Oh, no, tell me, please.
I don't think you would ever guess it. I actually don't know how serious they were because someone just relayed this to me.
$150.
I think they said $1,200.
Okay, wait a second. No.
Okay, but let's.
How are they doing over at Kind of Funny?
I don't know. That studio is apparently prints money too.
I think they're kind of rich.
Okay.
Well, then you know what? I'll just say it. What the fuck are you guys thinking? Putting Pokemon Scarlet and Violet on your top 10? Now I'll just say it.
Yeah, get their asses. Okay, let's really think it out. If the only way you could play it is by giving money directly to Nintendo, there's no secondhand market, there's no way to get a deal, and they said they were never ever going to lower the price, what is the highest amount you would pay for Zelda?
Oh, this is gross.
Yeah.
Shit.
There's a video game about this. There's totally a video game called.
But that's not the question. The question is, when will you start to feel remorse?
Yeah, I was changing it up. Okay, fine. We can do that question. That's fine.
Okay, because like I think like after $80, I start feeling remorse. I think it gets weird. How much would I actually pay if I knew this is the only way I could play Zelda, like the Zelda game, probably forever?
I think. Listen, I'm getting pretty in my brain. I'm getting pretty close to 1,200. Like I'm like, I'll save up. I'll just save up.
I keep thinking of a price like, well, 200. Then I'm like, really? If it's $210, you're just going to accept you're never going to play a new Zelda game?
Right?
And
yeah.
The answer is no. Like I wouldn't accept that.
Wouldn't accept
I wouldn't
it.
pay 1,000.
It is gross. It's sick.
It's gross. It's disgusting.
Luckily, people in chat say they're going to turn to Yo-Ho and a bottle of rum. That is not allowed. No, it doesn't exist in this hypothetical.
Yeah, that's true, actually. That would make me a pirate.
Yeah, oh yeah, for 100%. Sure. Without a doubt. Yeah, definitely.
Bailey Moon says, the way Nintendo showed Game Boy Color games made me change my mind. It's the same console, just with color. It's been a rough day for my position, Jeff. A rough couple of days.
Yeah, I mean,
it's been looking good.
Nintendo's always had that position, so it's like this was what we always knew when we were talking originally about Game Boy Color coming to Switch. Even you knew it was going to be one launcher.
Yeah. Look. Me and you both know, we like joke about the DSi. Obviously, the Game Boy Color is like this different category of beast.
Yes, it is. I know
that you can really compare to it in terms of.
The reality is it's both. It's always been both. That's why it's fun to have this argument, because it's like, is it a full successor or is it what this weird DSi? It was both the Nintendo. They realized in the future, sometimes you need to do one, sometimes you need to do the other. And in the one case where they did both, it was the Game Boy Color, and it lasted like 3 years. And it was like, well, okay, we could probably have done even less here or whatever, or not had so many exclusive games and gotten away with it just fine. So
right. I mean, yeah, exactly. When it came out, it was obviously very beneficial for them to position it as like the new next Game Boy.
Yes.
And now that we're far from removed from that, it's easier.
It came out like 10 years after the original Game Boy launch. So it was a whole different situation.
But also clearly a stopgap for Game Boy Advance, yes. Yep. Let's see here now. Next one here is T-Bird. Can you guys shed any light on the pricing structure in Australia? At least I assume it doesn't mean Austria. He says AUS. Currently, Zelda Breath of the Wild and Zelda Tears of the Kingdom are both $79 at most retailers. Tears of the Kingdom even $74.95 at Amazon. I know very little about Australia.
That seems like really cheap. That seems like really affordable. So maybe just, I don't know, jump on, just pre-order it now.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly.
There. Scott O'Donohoe, which is fun to say, says, with great games shadow dropping at less than the $60, $70 price point, I'm curious, how much do marketing budgets impact the MSRP of games on release?
They don't. That's not. It's just not how it works. They charge you what they think they can get away with, and then they have a marketing budget based on how much money they think they're going to make. they are decided by like two different teams almost. Basically, it's not really. Obviously, there's someone above who's like looking at all these things, but they are pretty unrelated. Which is, I know it's a weird concept that like, well, if it costs this much, you need to charge this much. It just is not happening. Nintendo's charging 70 because they know they can get away with 70, and it's that simple.
Oh, T-Bird came back, says EB Game Australia. Again, I think that's what he means. Also charging $99.95 for Sonic Frontiers. Well, if the point is that Sonic Frontiers is more expensive than Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, I think that's funny.
Yeah, yes. It's weird and funny. I'll say again, pre-order it now so you can lock in that price as long as you have that, like, as long as those places do that guarantee for you. Like Amazon does that in the United States, at least. Like all the people that pre-ordered Metroid Prime 4 at $60 on Amazon, they're going to get it for $60. So, yeah.
Black Link Firelink says, I usually watch the Japanese directs and they never showed Advance Wars. Is it really that unpopular in Japan? Man, I have no idea, Jeff. That'd be weird. For the longest time, we didn't even get that series here.
Advance Wars, for some reason, I think it's not coming out in Japan, right? It didn't have a date in Japan?
Really?
I remember.
It doesn't have a day in Japan. It's because it's not because like the old, like, Japan's been demilitarized for like.
I mean,
still, right?
I got another weird thing for this game, but maybe I
mean, they've been demilitarized long before like Famicom Wars came out.
Right?
Though,
yeah,
so.
Exactly. Yeah. According to Famitsu, Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp won't be localized to Japan. This is 10 months ago.
Why?
I wonder why they're so stubborn or not really. This is a Reddit post, but that's a fairly old article. Okay, so this is even from before 10 months ago.
Is the whole like Ukraine war thing even like
the game is too difficult for Japanese audiences? Haha, revenge finally. Yeah, I don't know. The Famitsu says
really?
they won't.
Yeah, that's great. Weird. Yeah, okay. That's I kind of want to look into that more and see what that's about because again, we used to not get those games. They used to only be in Japan.
Yeah, strange. I don't know.
Irio Delgado says, can you play the M. Bison Yes clip? It feels deserved. Man, I can't even not visualize that. Hear that one in my head. How does M. Bison say yes?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm like, which M. Bison? Raul Julia? Probably not Raul Julia, huh?
I imagine it's like Super Nintendo or arcade scratchy M. Bison going or something like that.
Your horse. Yeah, there you go.
We'll have to look into that. Well, I'm sorry we failed you, Irio.
Yeah, I apologize.
Yeah, but also it's what we do. Jeremy G says Professor Layton is a punk. Man, you know what I want to play? It's so funny because I was so excited for it, and it took forever for them to localize it, but they did. Is that Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright game? Like, I mean, I was so pumped for that. I love Phoenix Wright and like Professor Layton a lot. And I was like, wow, they're making this weird crossover game. I like crossovers. This is before we had multiverses and crossovers became rote. So I don't know, but somehow I bought the game and never played it. Maybe I need to get into that one at some point.
I am a big fan of Professor Layton, and I won't hear this slander.
Oh, I was just saying that Professor Phoenix Wright's better.
Well, didn't they say that he's a punk? Wasn't that the super chat?
Oh, yeah. I thought everything was about me. Yes, Jeremy G.
Oh, not everything's about you. All right, Mike.
I immediately forgot what other people said.
Hey, brace your ears, everybody.
Yes! Yes!
There you go. Is that like a Daniel Bryan? Yes, that's what I picture him doing.
It's an anime. It's an anime M. Bison. Yes.
Oh, is it the one with Chun-Li's breasts?
Yeah. Let me just Google. Is the M. Bison yes from the anime with Chun-Li's breast? And the internet said you're a pervert and you're going to jail.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm in jail anymore, Jeff. I'll tell you that.
Fuck you.
I don't know.
All right. I'm gonna make some phone calls.
See. Burrito says, "Hey Grubb, any chance you can get Jim's sponsorship to help you glue all your hair back?" Tee-hee. You should make Jim Ryan do it. He's had nothing to do with this, but it'd be funny.
Yeah, it would be very funny. Absolutely. My one of my favorite things is all the people who pretend to be Jim Ryan on Twitter, like just tweeting me all the time. It's Jim Ryan on Twitter, just always ribbing me and stuff. That's really fun. So I'll ask one of him to come and glue my hair back on for sure.
James Payne says, "Is Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp worth $79.95 Australian dollars?" I think I said that wrong. Is Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp worth $79.95 cents in Australian money. Are people trolling us with all these Australian economic questions?
It's the middle of the workday over there. They're just hanging out with us. Hello, everybody. Hope you're having a good time.
No, fuck you and your country.
I hope you get to go home soon and play some more Metroid Prime, even though Australia doesn't exist. Look it up. Google it.
Oh, is that a thing?
It's a thing. Of course, it's a thing.
Is it like the birds not existing?
Yes,
Australia and the birds don't exist.
The birds don't exist. I think is actually a total joke. I think there's some people who legit think Australia doesn't exist, but
that's funny.
Yeah.
Did they see Crocodile Dundee?
Yeah, they think that's part of a psyop.
Oh,
it's very funny to think like the CIA made Crocodile Dundee. That's actually pretty funny.
I could kind of see that. All right, Jeff, that's it with Super Chats for now. Thank everybody. That was a bunch of them. If you have any more to send, if you want to ask us any more questions about how much video games cost in Australia, please do send more Super Chats in. We will read them before the end of the show. Here's one right now from Rhyming Bectionary. It says, which happens first? PC ports of Spider-Man / Wolverine or PlayStation 5 price bump / PlayStation 5 Pro? Don't want to wait to play both, but $500 is a lot for two games.
Wait.
I assume you mean Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man 2, right.
I assume you mean Spider-Man 2.
Or a PS5 price bump.
They're not cutting the price of PlayStation 5 price bump.
So we're like still trying to parse. Listen, basically, you should, if you want to play those games, get a PS5. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you're gonna have to wait years to get them, and I don't know. I would just go ahead and spend the money and get a PS5. And
I mean, look, I mean, you're saying like, $5 is a lot to play for 2 games, or a lot to pay for 2 games. You can get more games.
Yeah.
You can find some really cheap games. You'll get Astro Playroom with your PlayStation 5.
There's a lot of fun stuff on PlayStation. That's right. This is what I wanted to do. You know, should we just do it right now, Mike? There's going to be a state of play here pretty soon. So there's going to be even more games announced. Now, don't get your hopes up too high, because it's not. Apparently, it's going to be a pretty it's going to be a pretty low key state of play. But soonish. Can I say I'm hesitant of giving the time frame.
But yeah, look at you. They drop Metroid Prime and you really get your mojo back. Now you're just shooting your shots all over the place.
Let's say like it's like February 9th. Let's say like in a month or so, maybe a little sooner. A state of play. Now again, a little bit more low key, because apparently there's
they usually are.
Apparently, yes, it's a state of play, right? So they're apparently saving stuff for an actual PlayStation showcase that will likely come before E3 time. So there you go.
They do have to shadow drop one of the best games of the year now, right? Like everyone else did it.
Yeah, I mean, PlayStation needs to get on that shadow dropping game, definitely. And they've been holding on to stuff, a lot of announcements for a while, so maybe they can actually pull that off. That'd be cool. I would like to see that. But it seems like PlayStation is going to be reloading and relaunching like their marketing campaigns here very quickly. And it'll be like a 1-2 punch of the state of play, and then they'll hit you with the heavy hitters at the showcase before E3. So before June, I guess, for both of these. So yeah, look out for that.
We did get one more super chat in here from Burrito. It says, guys, I meant hymns, not Jim. I'm driving. Okay, that makes more sense. I was going to say, what does Jim Ryan have to do with anything? All right, well, good. Hymns, not Jim. I like that people just say Jim, and I assume they mean Jim Ryan.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely one of the main characters on this show, so I get it.
Oh, Jeff, if a Game Final Fantasy 9 remake shadow dropped, just tell me.
That'd be cool. I don't know. I don't know. So I'll just say yes. Why not?
Okay.
Last time I did that, I can't remember what this was. Last time I just said yes. The next day that thing happened. So we should be careful.
Yeah, you're right.
I can't. What was that?
I can't remember something with the direct or something else.
Yeah, it was like not the direct. It was like a couple weeks ago.
GoldenEye?
It was GoldenEye. That's right. It was GoldenEye. Yeah. Yes, it was GoldenEye.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so that does it for the super chats.
It does it for super chats for now. We will read the rest of them, guys, before the end of the show if you send any more in. Thank you so much.
Okay, there's a few other things I want to do this episode. But did you see that Bend Studio that once made Bubsy 3D replied to me on Twitter?
Oh no, about Bubsy 3D?
So I after the show today, which you were on, Blight Club, where I played Bubsy. I'm playing through Bubsy 3D, which is one of the worst games ever made. Everybody, I'm on the last level.
You should watch it next week. He's gonna beat it.
I'm gonna beat it. Although I've been watching people do that last fight, and boy, it seems tough. But regardless, I'm like, there's this puzzle at the end of Bubsy 3D where there's these 4 platforms that you're supposed to activate in a certain like color coded order. And
you asked them. This is incredible.
And so I was like, hey, it was like, well, we're trying to figure it out. Eventually, we just had someone in chat look it up and tell me. And I did that. And I'm like, okay, while I'm playing this, can someone look up how we were supposed to learn which order to do it in? And nothing. No one said anything. I'm like, someone's found this, right? And now everyone's like, nope, nothing. My hunch the entire time, by the way, Mike, was there is no solution. You're just supposed to guess. Like, that's been my hunch this entire time.
That'd be fucked up, Jeff.
So I'm like, hey, Ben, I've been playing one of your games and I have a question. And then reply to that. And then it's a screenshot of that puzzle. I'm like, how am I supposed to figure out which order to do this puzzle in at the end of, the whatever the name of the level is in Bubsy 3D? And then no reply for a long time. And then Ben Studio's just like, rip, Jeff. And that's it.
They don't fucking know. They don't know.
I'm like, I think this might be the only answer to this. Rip, Jeff. Oh, man. Man, shout outs to Ben.
Get that framed. That's incredible. Ben Studios is good now, actually.
Huge shout outs to Ben. That was very good.
Oh man, I need to save this. I need a screenshot.
Yeah, so definitely tune in next week for that.
Did you do the Matt's Milkinson thing in response?
Yes.
Eating the sandwich.
Oh man,
this is the greatest thing
I've
ever seen.
That's real fun.
Oh, I'm saving this right now. That's incredible, Jeff. I love how sincerely you're asking.
I need to like treat this like a customer support phone call. Like, I'm just trying to get help here. Just trying to like talk. I want to talk to your gaming professionals, please. Nope.
Rip, Jeff.
Rip, Jeff.
Now,
yeah, go ahead.
While you got him, ask about how they're doing on the new Uncharted.
Yeah, sure. Okay, that brings us to our hot mess king shit of the week. Every once in a while on the show, we check in on how we're feeling about hot messes and the king shit that's happening out there. Usually at the end of the year, we're going to do one where it's like our hot mess king shit of the year. Sure, but we'll check in throughout the year. And I want to know what your hot messes are and what your king shit is. And you would call out and say, this is a mess. And what this is like really cool. Someone's doing some cool stuff out there, and I want to call that out. So, Mike, I've got a couple. I'm going to go first, and then we'll hit you, and then we got some from the community. Does that sound good?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so my hot mess of the week is Tommy Tallarico's Earthworm Jim 4 getting canceled.
Canceled. Apparently, they maybe never had the rights for it, Jeff.
Exactly. What a mess. They were never making that game. It was, of course.
No one even believed them.
Right.
No one really thought they were.
Which is why even how do we even get to a point where like a cancellation was announced? Like I didn't follow it enough to actually.
I don't think it was announced. I think it was revealed through like some journalist or something. I don't think they announced the cancellation. I think the report specifically said they were hoping everyone would forget.
Oh, that rules. Hot mess of the week. Tommy Tallarico continues just to be this treasure trove of clown bozo nose shit. And I love it. I actually can't get enough of it. He is going to be actually probably the new main character on this show going forward for a long time, because just saying Tommy Tallarico makes me laugh now. So, going to be enjoying that for quite some time. Earthworm Jim 4. You know how I feel about the Earthworm Jim games. They suck anyhow. So, of course, like whether or not this was real or not, if it had ever come out, that also would have been a hot mess, because I'm sure they never would have made it good. But yeah, totally just it's crashing and burning, just like everything else he's touched recently. If people are wondering, like, Tommy Tallarico, where do I remember that name? He was the guy that bought Intellivision and was gonna like release a new console that was gonna be like the new Wii. He was on Cribs
twice.
He was on Cribs twice, which is
he wasn't.
He was not, but his mother's very proud of him. Yeah. Then my king shit is that Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts does stay winning. I am very happy that this game is sort of gonna get this moment maybe where people are like, you know what? They actually did figure out some really cool stuff about making it very simple to put together a vehicle to solve puzzles in an open world sort of platforming game. They solved this problem, and we were just like, this is not the Banjo-Kazooie we want. And, obviously some people did like it at the time, and some people don't like it for legitimate reasons, but they did something cool when they were given an opportunity to make a huge budget 3D platformer. And it's nice that it might get its flowers all these years later.
Right. I mean, there's other things kind of working against that game. They had that radically different art style, which kind of threw a lot of people off. And like the beginning of the game, it's trying to be funny. It's making jokes, but it is like, nobody likes 3D platformers anymore. Those are boring and dumb. So again, it's like, well, I like them. I feel weird now. But a lot of people, when they play more of that, really get into it. I have not played much of Nuts and Bolts, Jeff, and now I feel like maybe I should.
It's a really, really good backward compatibility game. It looks very, very good. It's one of those Xbox 360 games that just glows up when you play it in 4K and 60 frames per second with all the extra features that Xbox's backward compatibility stuff does. So, yeah, I like hoping maybe we can get this moment here between now and when Tears of the Kingdom comes out, where we can keep pointing at that game and sending more people toward it. You have it on your Xbox if you have Game Pass already, so give it a shot.
Do you think there's a chance that there's a noticeable uptick in the amount of people playing Nuts and Bolts at Microsoft's?
I think it's going to be noticeable, right? Because you go from 5 to 60, 70 people playing it or whatever. That's noticeable, but I don't know. It's probably.
I'm not saying it's going to be trending on Twitch or something.
Yeah, it's not going to be setting records on Twitch. Yeah, for sure. Mike, what's your hot mess of the week?
Hot mess. Well, gosh, I was going to say Samus. I was going to do a joke where the hot mess was Samus and King Shit is James Bond. But I don't know. Maybe it's Ben Studios now. Yeah. That's just incredible. So well played there.
Yeah, that's King Shit, right? That's what that is for Ben Studio.
Mm-hmm. No, exactly.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
Right. Yeah. That's it. No, I don't know if I want to call this particular person out. No, I don't want to. I don't think I want to get real. So I'll say, I'll say King Shit is still actually just James Bond taking video game L's this week, which fair, not his fault.
All right, everybody, we got some answers here from the community. Let's see here. Jeremy Bibb.
I didn't mean to be cryptic and tantalize everybody, but it's for the best.
Usually when we make those calls, the game time decision, we're making the right call. Jeremy Biff, King Shit is Intelligent Systems and Fire Emblem Engage. I would pay $70 for Engage because it's really a really good long game. The tactics are so good. Love that they toned down the sandbox in Three Houses and replaced it with Fire Emblem Rings. First game in a while where you need a diverse party to make it through. Also, this is the first Emblem game that uses Texas-based anime actors. All the voice acting is so good. Thank you, Dio. I'm not sure. Oh, Dio must be the voice director for the game voices. Dio for JoJo's Bizarre Adventures. Okay, thank you for clarifying that. Let's hope Advance Wars and the Genealogy remakes are as good. Yeah, I hope so.
Are they remaking the Fire Emblem Genealogy?
Yes, they are. They are. That's one of the other things that's in the works as well. They are remaking Genealogy of the Holy War. But it's probably not. That's probably not coming out till next year, though, right?
That's one of the 16-bit ones we never got. I know somebody in my party. One of my ring guys is named the Bond of Genealogy or something. So he's the hero from that game. So yeah, I want to play that. There's I know all these names. There's Tharcia, and then a
1770. Yeah, not 1776. That's the year America was born. But it's something like that.
Yeah. Oh, Sigurd. Yes, Sigurd. Yeah, remake more Fire Emblem. With all my despairing about all the stuff with Fire Emblem,
776. Okay, Thrashia 776.
It is close. I sure did forget just how much fun Fire Emblem can be, and this probably is the best the just actual turn-based battles have ever felt or looked. It still just looks so good. The animations are so great. All the engaging stuff. It's super fun. I joked about. I did the meme with Andy dropping his all-year toy. So that he could play Metroid Prime. And it's true to extent. I'm taking a break so I could do some Metroid Priming. But
I love Engage.
I'm going to beat Engage for sure.
Same here. I'm definitely going to beat it. Shout out to JG in chat for reminding me that, yes, Nate has been talking about that Genealogy remake for a long time. A very long time. Okay, let's see here. Dan Park, hot mess is that Soda Popinski fight this week on Grubber Lang. Yeah, I got real rough. I'm going to have to get in the mode of going from one fight to the next. When I fight Soda Popinski isolated and I can just do the fight over and over, I get some really good fights in there. I get some really good times, but it's suddenly executing it. The fight is a little bit different where instead of you're doing a lot of buffering, you have to do a lot of hesitation. And that switch from going from a fight where you're doing a lot of buffering to a lot of hesitation is a huge mental switch I have to just flip. So I'm getting there.
That's supposed to be one of the harder fights. Isn't it, Dante?
Yes, it is.
That's the hardest one after Knight Tyson?
I don't know, but he's definitely. It's probably one that is going to end a lot of runs, I think, for me. So yes, and I think that's the one that ruins a lot of his runs too. At least the ones where I think he actually fails. I think King Hippo is one where you're not going to fail, but it's one where you can lose a lot of time because of the RNG.
I joined Dan's stream the one time. He said, "All right, Mike, you need to send me good RNG vibes because he's fighting King Hippo."
Yes,
The
King
RNG
Hippo
went
RNG is
poorly,
rough.
so I got blamed pretty heavily for that.
I mean, listen,
It's fair.
Rip Dan. Dan Park's king shit is Mike getting Future Port into a quick look this week. We Disney adults are taking over Giant Bomb. Yeah, I was like, I mentioned this to Mike, and then I forgot about it. And he's like, hey, you want to do that today? I'm like, oh yeah, let's
I didn't
do it.
forget. I was like, I'm gonna make sure we do that. I'm pretty proud, Jeff. That video is doing pretty well.
I think it was a good one. It's a real good one. Also, that's the thumbnail for it with Epcot
great
with Spaceship Earth looking fucking incredible at night with that great lighting. It's really enticing. Like I keep looking at it and be like, man, I want to watch this video. So yeah, it was a good, like that was I think you called that as like your photo spot too, right? So I'm like, yeah,
that's
perfect.
where I usually take my pictures, Spaceship Earth. I was like, yeah, look, this is where I take the picture. And you're like, oh yeah, this is great.
For people that don't know, me and Mike did a quick look on Giant Bomb of Futureport 82, which is this fan-made free piece of PC software that recreates what Epcot was like on opening day in 1982 in Unreal Engine, and it looks really cool. It has a lot of detail. It uses a lot of stuff from other fan sources to like, oh, this is what it was like here. There's like videos inside one of the areas that's just from someone's VHSs of some like pointing at the TV screens, and they just put that on the TV screens in the game. It's really, really well done. It's really cool.
It's awesome. I had so much fun, and I just got this like mouth diarrhea, all this Epcot stuff that's always jumbling around my brain, Jeff. So it was a good time for me.
Wong gives hot mess is the clear evidence that Nintendo conspired to have Jeff shear his hair off. King shit is that the guy who spent thousands of dollars to become a Nintendo shareholder just so he could ask them at the shareholders meetings what was happening with Bite and Kados. I can't say this. How do you say this game? Mike?
I don't know. It's made up words. I don't know. It's either that or Latin, which may as well be made up.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. That's how. Yes,
or even
absolutely.
worse, Japanese.
Yeah,
like,
right. Latin gibberish over there. Clearly they were inspired by his passion / money to put the wheels in motion. That's very funny. That's right. I forgot about that. That was one of the games that person asked about months ago.
That's right. Turbo Sean says it's Botan Kaitos. Okay.
Okay, Botan Kaitos. I'm not gonna. I'll remember Botan, but I'm not gonna remember Kaitos.
I have the first one over there. I haven't played it. I remember even back in the time, not really being too sure about it because this whole thing was that there's cards in it, and as a kid, I was like, oh. I like card games, but that sounds complicated. So, never quite played it.
Jeremy Biff, I think Mike and Dan conspired with Nintendo. Mike got invited to a Nintendo event recently. Well, this is a very interesting point. You're out of Nintendo jail. Metroid Prime doesn't come out when I said it's going to come out. It's like you snitched or something.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Bayleaf Moon, King shit with Xenoblade DLC announcement, a new roguelike mode for endless gameplay, and the new story DLC having previous main characters aged up and fighting God is quite delicious. What do you think, as someone who's a fan of Xenoblade Chronicles 3, what do you think of that DLC announcement?
Yeah, I'm kind of interested. It's hard to even talk about that without talking about spoilers for Xenoblade Chronicles 3, even though I guess a lot of people just saw that. But yeah, I'm intrigued. I didn't play, like, there's that Golden Something of Torna DLC campaign that came with Xenoblade Chronicles 2 that a lot of people liked. I didn't play it. And then I tried a little bit of the extra campaign they added to the Xenoblade Chronicles 1 remake and kind of bounced off that pretty soon. But this one I think will be a bit more interesting. I'm definitely at least going to check it out.
I'm liking this because it's reminding me of other things I wanted to talk about. Bayleaf Moon points out their hot mess is Redfall. Why did they make the single player require online? After moving house twice last year with no Wi-Fi for weeks, I vowed to never play online required games again. You heard about this, right? The Redfall.
I have heard about this.
Yeah, a lot of people are pretty kind of heated about it, and I don't really blame them. Although I play Hitman, so I'm at a point where I've grown used to this, a game that requires an online connection, even though I really struggle to understand why. And so when there's a server issue, it just pops up and says, you can't connect to the server. I'm like, I don't care. Let me play the game. I wasn't doing anything online, but it won't let you play. But I'm also used to it now at the same time. So I guess it's still shit though. So yeah, I don't blame people for being mad about this. Hot mess is the bad one. King shit is the good thing. Do you think you could remember that, Mike?
Hot mess is bad. King shit's good. Hot
mess is bad. Yeah, 'cause it's a hot, dirty, gross mess. And king shit is like that's some king shit.
Shit is also dirty and gross, Jeff.
Well, not when you're doing king shit though. That's the cool clean shit.
Okay, I'll try to remember this. You might have to keep reminding me.
Yeah, no problem. That's fine.
I'll just keep using context to get me through it. I'll be honest.
Adam says GBA, NSO, king shit.
Jeff, those games are so good. I was having
So good.
I was kind of like bouncing between them, like playing a bit of WarioWare, playing a bit of Kurokurin. I checked out some of those e-card levels from Mario.
I'm
Brothers
so excited
3.
to do that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
God, man. I never played those levels, even though there's obviously been ways to do it for years. I've never done it.
Yeah, Game Boy Advance. Like, I don't like. What is it about that? Is it just like all these people were forced to make 3D games basically because it's kind of all anyone cared about? Then suddenly, here's a system that was just the Super Nintendo again, and it seems like everyone just had a lot of fun making games for it or something.
Yeah, I think they had they're like, we just spent decades or a decade and a half figuring out how to make awesome 2D games. We solved every problem, and now we could just go buck wild with creativity. And we're all moving on to 3D games. God damn it. And they're like, oh, well, here's the Game Boy Advance. Oh, hell yeah. We'll just put all the cool ideas there. Here's WarioWare and Rhythm Tengoku and all this.
But at the end of the Super Nintendo, we were getting things like Super Metroid and Yoshi's Island.
Yeah, Super Mario
so
RPG,
good
yeah.
at 2D games, and then it felt like, well, pack it up.
Exactly. It was
3D.
Right. It was the wrong call. We should have found a way earlier to do both. This is why the Game Boy Advance was so crucial. It provided a way to do both.
You wish you had one more generation of 2D at least.
Well, yeah, the Atari Jaguar missed out on it, right?
Yeah, Atari Jaguar really
its beautiful future was stolen from us.
Well, like Saturn was supposed to be that. It was supposed to be just this really good 2D machine. And
I dare someone to send me a good-looking Atari Jaguar game. If there's a good-looking Atari Jaguar game, Rayman was on there.
Rayman was on there, and it's a pretty good port.
All right.
So that looks fine. Rayman looks good.
Another one then.
That Pitfall game. I mean, to be clear, all the examples are just that I have are games that are on other platforms.
Sure.
So.
All right. Let's see. I lost my spot. So let's go to. Man, a lot of people had a lot to say this week. All right. Let's Lenny Cool Dick Denver. Hot mess Twitter this past week, just all of it. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. It's a broken website, a lot of broken people on it. King shit, as everyone is talking about the direct, I legit have beaten Minish Cap 10 times, and 2023 will make it 11. I need to shout out a new tag team in AEW called the Outrunners. Their names are Truth Magnum and Turbo Floyd, and I can't stop laughing at their promo on Dark. Let me see if I can bring this up real quick. Yeah,
Turbo Floyd. That's the same exact name as Turbo Sean, with just a different generic first name.
Media cannot be played. Oh man, what the hell? All right,
boo.
Sorry about that, everybody. All right,
that's hilarious. Man, I haven't played. I talk about Minish Cap a lot, and I love it. I only did beat it the one time. I think I actually beat it back when I got it on my 3DS because of the Ambassador program. But I'm pretty excited actually to play that again. I think I'm going to go through it. That is a really fun game. It has some great dungeons, and there's that Sky dungeon, which is like maybe my favorite Zelda dungeon, and it has also definitely my favorite non-final boss with the two little like rays that are flying. You jump between the rays, and you have to use the Force Sword to make the copies of yourself. It's so freaking good.
All right, let's see here. Mr. Bowler, King Shit is NSO, that beautiful original puke green color scheme for Game Boy games. And a hot mess, Mike's sanity now that Grubb and Sean have new ammunition in the Game Boy Color Wars. Yeah, I mean, the wars were, really tough while they lasted, but I believe they're over now. And the Game Boy, overarching theory
Just you wait.
has reigned supreme.
Wait. Hey, Jeff, what's the name of the instrument in Samba de Amigo?
I mean, nobody knows.
People, please go to my Twitter. Please look at the video of Jeff trying to remember the word maraca, because you can see a million things happening in his brain and face as he's talking about the new Samba de Amigo.
This happens like 10 times a show, by the way, but this is the one that's very noticeable.
And he just calls them Sambas, and he says Sambas, and he knows that's not it. And he's like scared. And Jan is just not helpful because he just doesn't know much about Samba de Amigo. Oh. And it is just the greatest 2 seconds ever. He's like, Sambas? Anyway. Yeah. It's so good.
Shit. That is, yes, that's how it goes. That's what my brain is like.
Get right. I'm going to just make you play it on this before the end. So
all right, fair enough. I'll get ready for it. I don't know if I have the heart to go sit through it again, but here we go.
I'm going to sit through it probably at least 2,000 more times before I die.
From Bugadillo, King Shit is Kirby Tilt and Tumble coming to the NSO Basic for Game Boy Color. That is King Shit. Because one of the things about these Chinese handhelds is they all do have gyros in them, but none of the emulators sort of play nice with it. So it's like I always like, oh, maybe I could play like Kirby Tilt and Tumble, or what's the Yoshi one?
Yeah, Yoshi. God, I can't. It's not as good.
Yes, it's not. But yeah, but I'm like, I want to try those. I want to play them, or even like WarioWare Twisted.
Yes,
this is like
that's the exciting one. Give us
WarioWare Twisted. Yeah, give us that. That could work. So that is awesome. And then Hot Mess's Grubb not beating Bubsy 3D this week. Lol.
So close. Oh, gosh.
I did basically beat it. I'm at the very last fight. It's just really, really, really stupidly hard.
Oh, Yoshi Topsy Turvy. We gotta get Donkey Kong King of Swing on there. A lot of people forget. I remember King of Swing.
I play that all the time. It's not that great, although it's
not that great.
It's got a
Throw
fun
it on there though.
Yeah, definitely put it on there. It's like a game where you play entirely with L and R. I like that concept. I like all the weird Donkey Kong games. I like King of Swing, even though it's not very good.
Right, for sure. It's not as good as the Bongo games, absolutely.
Definitely not. Screaming Mad, and I was going to say I didn't have a hot mess, but I'd say Earthworm Jim Force Cancellation is my hot mess pick, which is yet another fart in Tommy Tallarico's quote-unquote career. King Shit is beating Hi-Fi Rush, which is just an absolute delight, as its character action and rhythmic fusion gameplay was superb. Really loved the final moments of that game, too, and the song choices for those were brilliant.
Jeff, I get sad and feel straight up bad. But people are like, I guess I just don't have rhythm because I can't figure this game out. I'm like, man, I feel bad for you because you're just missing out.
Okay, can I ask you, when you get the just beat rating, what percentage is it usually at? Like, what range?
I don't know.
Okay, because for me it's like anywhere from like I was like, I think I told Sean it's like 66% to 80%. It's closer like 59% to 75% usually.
I bet I'm better than you because I usually am. Okay, but I'm not sure exactly.
I didn't know if we had to put it like that, but
I got very good rhythm. I'm very rhythmic is what they always said.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, your gyrations are always on the beat. Absolutely.
Always gyrating.
Let's see. 1UP versus CPU. Hot Mess trolling people for engagement. And Hot Stuff, the Pikmin 4 key art. Listen, when I troll people for engagement, it's usually with my polls, and it's usually done in a way that makes me look stupid, and that gets engagement. But I guess that still counts as trolling.
I like this picture of a baby behind you right now, by the way. Which one is that? There's two babies.
Yes, it's like different times, but they're both Emmy.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize Emmy was your favorite.
Oh, wow. No, it's going to scroll through. It's Google's deciding what to put up there. Don't you do that.
I don't like it. I like the better ones. There's just for no reason. I noticed a picture of a baby.
Yeah, I think it's different now. So
because audio listeners, Jeff has his TV behind him and it's showing a slideshow of different pictures from his phone. You got to be careful with that. I told you my story, right?
No, what? What happened?
Nah, maybe not. Maybe that's not a podcast.
That's true.
Story.
Okay, you only get that's it. That's your last one. If there's another one where you're about to tell the story, you have to tell it. 3 strikes and you're out.
Okay, 3 strikes and I'm out. People can extrapolate what maybe happened here.
Probably yes. Was it like a butthole or something? All right, never mind.
Not a butthole.
Okay.
Something Manscaped could help with.
Yeah, the Pikmin 4 key art is very good. Let me bring this up for everybody real quick. This is good. I love Pikmin.
That does look great. There's so many things to play on my Switch right now, Jeff, let alone the things I want to play on my Steam Deck, but I wonder if I am going to get to Pikmin 3 Deluxe. Maybe I'm just going to play Pikmin 4. The timing may very well work that way.
I don't believe you're ever going to play Pikmin 3 Deluxe. Yeah. You know what this looks like? Right. That dog from Pikmin 4. It looks like the Grubby toy. Can
you show me it again?
The dog?
The dog. Okay. Oh my God, this thing. Oh, that's Teddy Ruxpin.
Yes, Teddy Ruxpin and Grubby.
Yeah, I get Teddy Ruxpin and TV Teddy mixed up a lot.
Okay, let me see here.
Remember TV Teddy? I'm TV Teddy.
I don't remember. All right,
I remember TV Teddy. He would watch some cartoon about that ferret who fights a snake with me, and he's
making this up. These were like fever dreams you had as a kid.
No, it's a great because it was a thing. It was a bear, and you would buy VHS tapes, and he would basically do commentary along with it. He would basically be like Mystery Science 3K, but for kids in person. It was really cool toy. I loved it.
Yeah, BB-8, the Sphero toy did that. Where we reacted to Force Awakens. That was so much fun. It was like really well done.
Basically the same thing. Man, now Jan's right. It is weird this dog doesn't have a nose. It's got snout, but not a nose. Like, we just put a little black dot there.
And only 2 legs. Does that get you, or
does it get me?
Yeah, it does
only have 2 legs. No, in fact, noticing that makes the nose thing better now. Actually,
Cool. I know.
So you fixed it.
I respect that. I respect that. Okay. Let me.
Good job.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's keep going. There's Grim Guardian. Where are we at? Okay, so he also said the Grim Guardian's Demon Purge demo. I think he just sent us a link to that. Yes, that is. I played some of that. It is very much one of those Game Boy Advanced Castlevania games. It's very cool.
Yes. Oh, is this the one? Yeah, that's literally by Inti Creates.
Yes, it's the one by Inti Creates. It's the one that's kind of a little bit hornier for sure.
A little hornier and a little bit more GBA than NES, but I'm into it.
Octo King shit. Ghost Trick finally lives again. Game Boy Advance lives again. You love Ghost Trick, right?
Ghost Trick is fantastic. And it builds. It has games like this, like these kind of puzzle story games. Kind of a hard time. Like, well, how do you make the ending exciting? Like, I love Grim Fandango, right? One of my favorite games ever. Like, the ending is just another puzzle you do, and it's kind of anticlimactic. This game's ending puzzle thing was great. It's tense, it's awesome, but just in general, what a good game. Yeah, when that comes out on Switch, everybody, you need to play Ghost Trick. This includes Jeff, of course, but I'm yelling at Jeff about playing a lot of things. I gotta ease off sometimes. Ghost Trick, though,
I want to play Ghost Trick. I definitely want to. Octo also says their hot mess is Donkey Kong 94 missing from Nintendo Switch Online. What the fuck? Serious? And then he says serious mess. Baten Kaito's remasters only have Japanese VO. That's dumb.
Oh, is there? That's weird. They're not. I mean, I assume that the GameCube versions had English VO. Yeah, voice acting.
Sean says he'll yell at me about Ghost Trick. Great, cool.
That's good. So that's a little weird, but better than Tales of Fantasia HD only being 30 frames per second. They sure.
The Symphonia? Was that Symphonia?
Some of these, what?
Fantasia or Symphonia?
Symphonia. Thank you. I knew it sounded wrong. Fantasia's an earlier one.
And I think first one, Symphonia is actually a maraca too, right? That's what it is.
Yeah. Apparently the English VO is cringy. Then record new English VO, make it better. It is a remaster.
Rumham says king shit. Nintendo acknowledged Golden Sun and it's coming to Nintendo Switch Online. And if Baten Kaitos can get a release, then I can have hopes for Golden Sun too. Yeah, it was weird to see Golden Sun actually acknowledged.
We will get Golden Sun on NSO before Mario RPG in all likelihood, which is interesting.
That is weird and kind of, but I mean, all right, I guess so. Fine. At least I can understand that to a certain degree. Nintendo owns Golden Sun, so they could just do that.
Sure, right.
The Rumham's hot mess remastering Metroid Prime without Tommy Tallarico. We don't know that. I think this game is only possible if he worked on it, right? How could you do it without him?
Yeah, he probably didn't even accept any money or credits.
Right. I mean,
he's just
come
such
on.
A good guy.
Yeah, listen. I mean, he accepted the holding hands with Miyamoto, hand in hand in development, but that's all the payment he ever needed.
They're always holding hands. I assume they're holding hands right now.
Big Tony's hot mess. That segment of the Direct where it was only DLC and expansion pass announcements. Yes, they got to sell their video game stuff, right?
It did go on for a bit. Like some of it, I mean, you know, if you're playing those games, it's kind of exciting. The Splatoon stuff did very little for me, I'll be honest. But the best thing was actually that Yoshi's Island level in Mario Kart. I'm like, okay, this looks great. Yeah, let's get some Yoshi's Island stuff for sure. But yeah, there was a bit there where, you know, I was desperately trying to shitpost. I think I said, expansion pass Direct.
Sucked that Twitter was down during the Direct. Or that's like the time when I want to tweet the most, and it's Twitter's not working. Let's see. Big Tony's King Shit, Metroid Prime, and GB Game Boy Advance segment of the Direct. Yeah, once you got past the DLC, it was clear sailing of one cool thing after another. So
yeah, it went very hard after that.
Big Tony says they had us in the first half. I'm not gonna lie.
Exactly.
Velocity Prime 1 hot mess. Sorry to bring it up, but it has to be Hogwarts Legacy discourse. Yep. And King Shit, did you know you could play Metroid Prime on your Switch right now? Yes.
I'm kind of mad I'm not doing it right now.
Yeah, a little bit. I do have my Switch right here, and I keep glancing at it. It looks so good on the OLED. It's just a goddamn good game.
Great. I unlocked the Varia suit last night and did that boss, and God, I just gained that suit. That is the best any video game character has ever looked. Is Samus Aran in her Varia suit in Metroid Prime. Like, so good. I mean, you know, I can show you this right here. Audio listeners, I'm holding up my bobble head. Not really bobblehead. It swivels more in the waist.
Bobble torso.
Samus. Yeah.
God, it's the art design. Yes, it's just so good.
Good.
Yep, and it really works as a video game character because she looks powerful and you want to play as her.
I just kissed it and realized I just about shoving this thing up my ass on Twitter. So.
ass to mouth here on Game Mess Decides, everybody.
You said it.
A2M. All right, let's see. Metroid Shadow Bop Prime. Hot mess. I seem to be in the minority here, but I feel like Game Boy Advance being in the $50 tier seems a bit unfair with every other 2D emulator in the $20 tier. I was expecting it, so it didn't catch me off guard at all. Maybe when you put it like that, I hear you.
I mean, I don't, again, this is me old school, but like, I don't know why 2D necessarily puts it. When you think of it in terms of like, well, you have Game Boy and you have Game Boy Advance, one of them's going to go in the more expensive tier.
And it's also,
probably,
no,
right?
Game Boy or Genesis is in the $50 tier, isn't it?
No, I think when they did Genesis and Nintendo 64,
Genesis was in the $20.
Was the one they put in the $20 one, right? So they usually do always have two now, so they can do one in the base tier and one in the more expensive one. Wait, yes, people are saying Genesis is. Oh, I'm wrong.
Yeah, but they're saying Genesis
expensive?
is, yes, like Genesis is what? And yeah, like I don't know, I can't parse. Genesis is in the expansion pack. Thank you. Okay.
Genesis is $50.
I think it's in the $50 tier.
Then what was in the $20 tier?
I don't think they did anything in the. I think that was the like. I think isn't that what they launched the expansion pass with? Expansion pack.
Man, I don't know. My memory's really failing me on that one.
Yeah,
nothing.
Yeah,
okay.
Nothing. Yeah.
Well, then there you go. They already put a 2D one in the expansion.
No, that's right. It was like, yeah. Okay.
So the $20 tier is only NES and SNES
and Game Boy.
Huh. And
Game Boy Color. So there you go.
Okay.
There's four platforms, right, Mike? Breadfish.
Not that I don't believe chat, but I kind of don't believe chat.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm pretty sure on this one. Breadfish, Hot Mess. The direct was oops, all remasters, and Nintendo didn't announce a single new first-party game, which might be a first for a full-length direct. I'm like, I totally understand this take, and yet for me, I'm not anywhere close to complaining about it because it gave me so much of what I wanted. But if you're not me, yeah, that's fine. I get people like being like, hey, announce something really new. I just wasn't expecting that because the Zelda's right there, right? They're going to get past Zelda before they really start doing that stuff. King shit, the remasters mostly look great, specifically Metroid Prime and Ghost Trick. I even saw a Button Kaidos fan out in the wild yesterday. Oh, good for you.
Good for them. They're probably living life sweet.
That's good stuff.
Man, I guess this is blowing my mind. I don't know why I thought it was. Well, you know what? The Genesis selection on NSO is actually fantastic. I will say that it's actually the one I've spent the most hours playing is Genesis.
Jedi Moss 4, Hot Mess, the tech industry now having to deal with the consequences of short-sighted spending decisions and no longer being able to borrow money for cheap like they did during the pandemic and laying off folks when there's little indication that a recession is coming anytime soon. Yeah, wasn't it wild when it was like, layoff. It is doomsday for the tech industry. And then the very next week, the jobs report came in and it's like 500,000 new jobs created. The market's insane. No one's ever going to lose their job again. It's like, what is going on? Why is it's such weird stuff?
It's just everybody's like, one person's like, I have a feeling. Everyone's like, ooh.
It is that simple. Great. It sucks.
Great.
King shit.
Especially for industries that depend on often the tech industry to buy advertisement. It's rough when they decide not to.
Yep, they're cutting back, and it's like, oh, okay, I guess I got to cut back my jobs too, and it's all because you guys are just freaking out for no good reason. Jedi Moss's king shit. Retro Studios once again showing people that they know how to make games. Do you think Prime 4 is now on the horizon for the upcoming fiscal year, Mike? I am going to say yes.
So you think it's going to launch before? Okay.
By March
2024 is what you're saying.
I mean, okay, all right, that seems a bit aggressive. By summer 2024, not fall 2024.
I could still see it as the fall 2024 game. I don't know. I know this. I will actually kind of be tied over and happy just playing Metroid Prime Remaster.
Sure.
And maybe 2 and we'll maybe even get 2 and 3.
Yeah, if we get 2 and 3 pretty close this holiday, yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah,
I'm gonna have plenty of Metroid to play, so I'm very happy.
From Chaos Buckaroo, Hot Mess, my backlog. I had a good idea of what I was going to play over the next couple of months, but Nintendo said, you thought. And then King Shit, the gospel of gaming. I have spent months trying to convince a friend to go back and try Game Boy Advance games. He finally tried on Nintendo Switch Online last night and has been loving it. That's one thing. A lot of times we will talk games up and old games, and you're like, oh, you haven't played that. You should go back and play that. And a lot of times I do that without reservation, but sometimes I know there's a chance people aren't going to like it. With Metroid Prime and Game Boy Advance, I have very little every part of me believes that most people are going to like everything they try there.
It would be weird to not like Mario and Luigi.
Yes,
I don't know what about you would dislike.
Exactly. From Hosp, hot mess Nintendo for bringing Birdo to Mario Kart 8 and sullying young minds everywhere. King shit Nintendo for Metroid Prime Remaster. This is a fucking game. Yes, it is.
It is just so good. I can't get over it. Like, just that transition from first person to third person in the morph ball.
Oh, it's
still just
one of the best feeling things ever. It feels so good. It's one of the
best things ever done. It's so good. Each time it feels so good and it looks so good. And I love rolling around, just waiting for that light trail to line up after I get enough momentum, and then my brain gets happy. God, it's freaking good.
It rolls. Vision 49, think we're all good on recent messes, so I'll just shout out No Clip. Their docs are always incredible. Their podcast is fun. But I got to highlight Jeremy Jane's Signalis video essay that went up on No Clip's crew channel this week. If you played the game, it is essential viewing. If you haven't played the game and aren't too worried about spoilers, I would still recommend it. The video is clearly a labor of love and definitely some king shit. Yeah, they do great work over at No Clip. And it's like, I love that they are out there doing stuff from that side of the industry where they are embedding themselves in with studios and talking to them and getting to know them and able to give voice to the creative process that we haven't had that really until we had it in very few circumstances, right? The documentaries that came out of Double Fine, but that was like
there was a Gran Turismo one that was
right. The one for God of War 2018 was people really liked that one,
right? But yeah, so there's big examples of it, but it's always kind of internal
to studios, right? So No Clip out there great. Just making it available to every studio. It rules. It's something I don't think I could ever do, actually. So I'm glad No Clip's out there doing it. From Bench JC, king shit, the Xenoblade Wave 4 DLC trailer. It looks insane, and like everything I wanted out of the DLC, and it's only 20 seconds. My guy really aged up. His guy here, let's see here.
That's Rex.
There's his guy.
It is funny. They just made him, he's like the typical boy hero JRPG character, and then they just made him.
They gave him a goatee. And gave him Kirby's angry eyes. Yeah.
I mean, God, you don't tempt me, Frodo, because there's so much I can say about those spoilers. Don't tempt me, Frodo.
Hot Mess is probably the $70 for Tears of the Kingdom. Sure, it sucks, but also I just wanted to be excited about the game because it looks incredible. Yep.
Sure.
I feel you.
I guess that's my ultimate thing. No way does a game costing $7 impact my enjoyment or excitement for that game.
Yep.
At all.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, the Ratchet and Clank, right? That was $70, and just, I guess I got a code for that one, so never mind. Major Prime remastered, king shit, Metroid fucking Prime on my goddamn Nintendo Switch right now. Hot mess, Mike and Jeff misunderstanding that it's going to cost me $80 because I'm getting a physical copy as well. There you go. Hey, guess what? It cost me $80 too. Mike, I bought a physical video game, Metroid Prime Remastered for Nintendo Switch. I want it.
The one I would be... what does the box art look like? Do we know? Does it replicate the amazing GameCube?
Yes, but it looks like a Nintendo Switch one instead. But yeah, absolutely.
I gotta go. I'm gonna look it up actually. Yeah. I don't know what that looks like. God, am I real? No, I'm fine.
I did.
I don't need it.
Orange is the new jet. Hot mess. Disney laying off 7,000 employees while simultaneously announcing 3 sequels: Frozen 3, Zootopia 2, and Toy Story 5. All right, Mike, let's hear it.
It's hilarious. It's so funny. I hope that Toy Story 5 has an even sappier, definitive ending and then gets another sequel anyway. I can't wait.
I like it. I like that they're doing it. I don't care. I love Toy Story 3, 4, 5. Yeah, keep giving them to me.
4.
I love 4. King
love
shit
is strong. You sure? If you said you like
4, promise you
okay.
I love it. I promise you I love it. I love Toy Story 4.
That's gross.
I love it. And honestly, it makes me like you less. I like Toy Story 4 more than you.
Well, that's fine. Okay.
King shit. Disney giving IP to devs like D-La Studios who know how to make a fun-looking Mickey Mouse 2D platformer. Looks fun. Looks a little bit slow. How are you feeling about it?
I think it looks good. Here's what I'm excited about, Jeff. In that trailer, they're showing out different abilities, and at one point, one of the characters dropped a rope for the other ones down below. That is taken straight out of World of Illusion for the Sega Genesis, which was like kind of the puzzle platformer with Mickey and Donald, the semi-sequel to Castle of Illusion.
If it's a puzzle platformer multiplayer, that actually should just be slow, because it is about like looking at your environment and doing stuff like that. That's okay. feel a lot. I like that Battletoads game. I don't care what anyone says, so I'm looking forward to it.
I mean, look,
still.
this can't be as fast and frankly as difficult as those Rayman games that I know it looks
definitely
like.
not.
It is
Yes.
Mickey Mouse.
Yes, absolutely. That's fine. We got to make it easier for Dan when he plays.
Excellent, of course.
Nick Turbo, hey Jeffrey, so white he's got hard R trending during Black History Month. Grubb, and Gubb, excuse me, and Mike. We all pissed our pants playing Alan Wake, right, guys? Minotti.
My God.
King shit, having an awesome direct and being able to play Metroid Prime for the first time. Because were you even was he born when Metroid Prime came out? Maybe he was 1 year old. Hot mess watching Microsoft fight tooth and nail to buy Activision Blizzard while firing so many people. I know they would have done the layoffs regardless, but it still feels disheartening. Absolutely. It's
This box art for Metroid Prime Remaster looks so good.
Yep. I'm not going to open it. Sean's like, you could have just waited once and paid $40 or waited and paid just $40 total. I want the digital version to play. I want the box. I'm going to just keep the box. That's why I'm buying it.
What was the last thing you read? I'm sorry. I don't mean to ignore
it was just Dick Turbo. No, he says King shit having an awesome direct and being able to play Metroid Prime for the first time.
Well, good. Just if you dislike it, don't tell me. But good for you.
Yeah, and then he said if watching Microsoft fight tooth and nail to buy Activision Blizzard while laying off so many people, which is frustrating. That's a hot mess, of course. Grantilda's Bazoongas, king shit, fuck man, that Metroid Prime remaster looks so good, and at 60 frames per second too, fuck. It always was 60 frames per second. It's retro, guys. They were always the kings of this stuff.
It's just they're always so good at it.
And God, yeah.
Okay, I mean, I get it, that the other one is open world. Boy, it's hilarious comparing Scarlet and Violet to this Metroid Prime remaster. It's funny. It's very funny.
Yeah, it is funny, man. Yeah, wow. Okay. Hot mess. This Activision acquisition. Oh my God! Please make it stop. Big Jimbo not answering Kodak's phone call is pretty funny, though. That is actually pretty funny. That rules.
It's pretty good. I don't know him.
Hang on, let's see. I gotta check this message real quick. Okay. What are my sources saying? You should play Ghost Trick. It's funny as hell.
He's right, Jeff.
Yeah, that's funny as hell. From Gerber, king shit, Sega for somehow coming up with another way to make me go, wait, you're doing what now? With that Samba de Amigo announcement. Yeah, Sega's fun in weird ways. I like it.
I mean, they said they wanted to bring back old franchises, and Here we go. Good. I loved Samba de Amigo for the Dreamcast. It might be in my top 3. I played a ton of that, but again, I mostly played those stupid Sega songs that I loved, and the maracas were a big part of it. So I hope that this can recapture that. It remains to be seen. I do have the generic Samba de Amigo song as one of my stream background songs when I'm getting ready, though. It's good stuff.
Uncharted Wolf 5. I did not know this happened. Hey, Uncharted Wolf, can you send me the timestamp for this? I mean, I listened to a lot of their stuff, but I didn't hear this. King shit, Blessing Jr. at Kinda Funny shouting out our one and only Knuble for the great work he does on Twitter, rounding up gaming news. That's our boy.
Good job,
that's our boy growing up right there. I know.
Nibel who?
Yeah, Nibel who? Stay dead. I'm just joking. I miss you, Nibel. But I remember Ben Hansen was like, "Hey, now that Nibel's gone, who's everyone going to?" And I'm like, Knuble. He's doing a great job. And since then, Knuble's done even better. He puts out these documents on Friday of a graphic format of all the news from the week, just like he used to do for the roundup when we were about to do the podcast. And I'm like, this is great. So I just retweet that every week now. He does a great job.
Tim stuck up for you too on one of the shows at some point, because they were talking about one of your reports, and I guess people check "Oh, Grubb makes stuff up." He's like, "No, he doesn't. He just tells you what he heard, and sometimes things change."
I did hear that. Tim's a good boy. I love Tim.
He is a good boy.
Yep, he's he's a true dude. Always has been.
Yeah. It's kind of funny. People are great, except for when they put Scarlet and Violet in their top 10.
Keep them honest, Mike. Hot mess, Mike Minotti for talking shit about Samba de Amigo. Why? I think this will be bad because I'm sorry. I think this will be bad because I don't have my maracas. I don't know what those are. What's a maraca?
My sambas.
My sambas. I don't have my sambas.
Yes, I do think that.
Saying you have no faith in Samba de Amigo is like saying you hate video games. Year of Rhythm 2023. JK, love you, Mike.
Yeah, I know. Guys, they made one for the Wii and it wasn't that good. We already kind of did this version.
Let's see. Clink. Hot mess, EA and Respawn for continuing to deny me more quality Titanfall content. Why must we continue to suffer? Yes.
Man, gosh, that feels like so long ago.
Yeah, a week ago.
That was just a week ago. Shit.
Does feel a long time ago. King shit, Hi-Fi Rush. It just keeps getting better and better the more time I spend with it. Yep. Where are you at in it?
I haven't been able to play in like a week, and I'm mad at myself because I'm still. I think I'm about to go to that girl everybody likes place because I basically finished the thing with the JoJo guy. So yeah, not nearly far.
Okay. All right. So yeah, you haven't got a. Yeah. Okay. Dan Park, King shit is that reveal trailer for the single player expansion of Splatoon. That's got me hype. Color the whole world. Yeah, I'm like, once I realized that was a single player expansion, I'm like, oh, okay, that's promising.
Well, we knew one of these was coming because they had one with 2. I think they even said there was going to be one. So yeah, but it's good to see.
It just didn't register with me, so I completely forgotten that, and it's like, oh yeah, that would be great to go back to. Good and creamy, King shit, Pizza Tower on my Steam Deck. Yes, this game is kind of intense. It's a great example of indie devs taking over and making the games that the bigger studios won't anymore. Nintendo won't make a Wario Land game, so someone made this game, and it's pretty fantastic so far. So Pizza Tower is like a Wario Land, and it's it's got the.
Now, when you say it's like a Wario Land, do you mean like a Wario Land 1, which is like a platformer, or like Wario Land 2 with the kind of like, in 3 with the kind of puzzly?
It's Wario Land 1 because it's all about like charging, but it's like it's basically like you can combo the platforming together. So you are you're charging really fast, and then if you need to go underneath there's a low ceiling, you could duck and slide, and then you could jump up and keep your charge going, and then you could turn it into like a supercharge, and then if you dive towards the wall and then do your charge again, you could start running up the wall, and it's all happening so fast. It's as cool as it sounds, and then it's got this deranged look to it. Like
yes, I've seen the look. It is deranged.
It's
it kind of
awesome.
looks like. It's got a bit of a Toe Jam and Earl thing to it.
Yes, yeah. There's just sort of a sort of irreverent tone to it. It's
Ren Stimpy kind of a thing.
Yes, it's in that whole wheelhouse. Absolutely, like late night animation on MTV. Let's see. Then I think we got Inafune, King shit, eating a 28-inch pizza all by myself. That is King shit, Inafune.
Oh, you're supposed to do that while watching a teenage. You need to do that while watching a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie with your friends, and you put the pizza box on your lap. And it's called turtling, and you're not allowed to get up until you finish the pizza.
Mike, I want to come over your house and go and do some turtling. Let's make it happen.
We'll do some hardcore turtling.
I'm sure that has other meanings on the internet. Hot mess, Respawn canceling all Titanfall projects and Hogwarts Legacy. Dugan, ongoing hot mess. My In Bed with Bethesda fantasy critic score. That's the name of your team. Okay. My fantasy critic score. I thought Blooper Team was making the Dead Space remake ready for that big L like the Green Mario brother.
Oh, okay, man. Because like I remember he got this mixed up with Silent Hill 2. Because at the time we were like, really, you want to counterpick Dead Space?
So that must be counterpick Dead Space. That's gonna destroy you. Oh my God. Sorry about that, Dugan. We'll do an update on that at the end of the month. Let's see. DMC depressed me crying. King shit. Nintendo charging $70 for Tears of the Kingdom so Furukawa's children don't starve when and then this is crossed out. Download a ROM. Legally dump my own game card to play it on Yuzu. Okay. Dr. Sus, hot mess. All these companies laying off people while they have incredibly high profits. F Amazon, F Microsoft, F Disney, F Meta. And you know what? I think we talked about this on one of those shows. Like Nintendo's raising prices 10%. You know, other companies in Japan have been like raising it like 30%. So it's
raising wages, not prices.
Wages, excuse me. You're right, wages. So it's like even Nintendo could be raising it more. So maybe even F Nintendo for just not raising wages quite enough. So.
But then they would have to charge $80 for Zelda, Jeff.
I'll pay it. Let's fucking go.
Let's fucking go.
That was our hot mess king shit. That was a lot of fun, everybody. You guys all had a lot of good takes this week, so we'll bring this back like I said, every once in a while. We'll go through this and keep it going throughout the year. Mike, I wanted to ask you, what do you think is the dark side of the moon of video games? This is something that came up today on Voicemail Dump Truck. So I wanted to ask you that, and now what do you have to say?
Jeff, I'm going to tell you right now that I have to pee.
We'll be right back, everybody. See you in a second.
And get a beer, I think.
All right, that sounds good. All right, how's everybody doing tonight? We getting through this one? Today on Kind of Funny Games Daily, at the time, 4410 is Knuble mentioned. Okay, thank you. I'll listen to Kind of Funny Games Daily tonight before I go to bed. What? What are you saying?
Sambas. What do you call the maraca sambas?
Because no, I didn't. I don't call them that. I couldn't remember what maracas were. I couldn't remember the word maraca. So it's like Samba de Amigo. When you get the
sambas.
And my brain is just like, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. And I like already started the sentence. So I'm like, sambas. And Mike's right in that moment. 100% knew it was wrong. And I'm just like, but what is the word if it's not that? And then I just had to pull the parachute and jump out of that whole segment.
There was a look on your face of like, Jan, help me out here. Jan, throw me a life raft.
Jan's like sitting there like thinking like,
homie,
and Jan's probably like,
dude.
Like, you know, okay, what the fuck even is a Samba de Amigo? Like, yeah, because like he was a kid when Dreamcast was out. So, Jesus. Man, it's like that does happen all the time on the show too.
Eddie, come on, stop. He's not that young. Stop it.
Okay, well.
John keeps playing it the young car. He's not young.
So how old would he have been?
He was alive.
He would have been like.
He was well aware when Samba de Amigo was a thing.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, but he was a kid, so he wasn't like dictating, "Get me a Dreamcast," right? Like most kids didn't have a Dreamcast. That was the whole problem.
He would have been on 7.
I would die
7,
for 10.
yeah.
I would kill for 10.
He would have been.
Getting on my nerves.
Jan was like, okay, yes, 7 to 9 to 10. All right, yeah, 7.
7 or 8. Yeah.
Children don't want to know what an album is, let alone whom Pink Floyd is. We'll explain it. Don't worry.
These millennials.
You guys should listen to Dark Side of the Moon. I haven't listened to it. First time I really listened to it is when I got my Cos Porta Pro headphones and was working at the JCPenney warehouse. And I would put it on, and I was like, "Oh, I heard these Cos Porta Pros. They're like a $50 headphones. They were whatever, but they were a lot better than any other headphones I used up to that point.
Good for the price.
Yes, they were very good for the price. They still are. They still make them. But there's actually a lot of headphones in that price range. Whatever. I was working the overnight shift, and I would listen to it like over and over for a couple of weeks. And it was just like, man, this album does rule, and I can hear more of it now that I'm using these good headphones. So yeah, I will try. I'll do my best to explain what this means, but you don't really need to listen to it. You should though.
And the beat goes on.
What the hell? What the hell was that?
Me?
No, my screen just like popped up with this weird. I could be hallucinating, so I don't know. We'll see. We should just finish this show soon.
Before around here.
Yeah. Okay.
Bottle opener.
Ooh.
It's a claw. Whoa. It's good, huh?
Okay.
You scare fat kids with it.
What?
Like in Jurassic Park.
You know, when he scares the fat kid.
Was he not? In my mind, it was some kid.
What are you talking about?
Also, it's weird that you pointed it out.
No, he is a little fat kid. That's the whole. No, in the 90s, if you wanted to like have a little shitty kid, you made him fat because everyone hates fat people. Trust me, I know.
I mean, I have no idea.
All right.
No idea what that's like.
Jurassic Park reference for all the young people out there.
I know exactly what he meant.
Sorry, I didn't make a Jurassic World Dominion reference for
you. Okay. Just continue.
I'm ready, Jeff.
Okay. All right, I'll bring us back in. Dark Side of the Moon, Mike. It's an album, came out a long time ago. Pink Floyd's the band. I will explain what this even means, but I guess, do you want clarification on what I mean by the Dark Side of the Moon of video games?
Yes, I request elaboration.
You know who Pink Floyd is, right?
Oh, I know because my younger brother, Chris, is a big Pink Floyd fan and was especially a big Pink Floyd band fan in high school when he would drive me to high school. Yes, my little brother drove me to high school. You can laugh. And he would play basically Dark Side of the Moon and The Wall on repeat. So I got very familiar with these albums, despite only being mildly interested in Pink Floyd myself.
So Dark Side of the Moon is an album from Pink Floyd after they've been around for a while, and it was experimental, but it's one that like became this like sort of smash pop culture hit. And did a lot to inspire future albums and future bands to try to be like them because it was so influential and successful. So when we say Dark Side of the Moon of video games, the idea would be a game from a developer or creator that maybe does come a little bit after a while of them making games and is this big sort of exclamation point in their career and in gaming as a whole, and also is maybe experimental or a pivot in some way. Does anything come to mind when I start saying stuff like that?
It's like, except for the experimental part, there's
experimental, not necessarily experimental, but like that album is experimental, but it's a lot of things. So it's just like
right, like Super Metroid and Metal Gear Solid both came to mind, maybe because just Super Metroid's just Nintendo, and there's even like other Metroids, right, and all these other games that made the hits, and Super Metroid really felt like, oh, this is like we've really figured this out. Look, we've completely mastered the art of 2D games. This is going to influence everything for a while. The Metal Gear Solid is with specifically with Hideo Kojima, who had been making plenty of games, including games very similar to Metal Gear Solid. So that's where maybe the experimental thing, not so much. But then that came out, was this giant deal that influenced everything. I guess there's experimental stuff in Metal Gear Solid, maybe just in terms of narrative and some of the other weird stuff, like your Psycho Mantis stuff, right?
Yeah.
Maybe I like Metal Gear Solid even better as an answer than Super Metroid.
I think Metal Gear Solid is a pretty good answer. That is like, it is definitely something that games have been one way for a very long time, and then it kind of came along and sort of opened it up to everyone else. Yeah. Do you spot one? Because I could tell you what we came up with during Voicemail Dump Truck that I like.
Well, I just got excited because then Metal Gear Solid 2 is definitely the wall.
Yeah.
It's like the also good but kind of obnoxious and like overly theatric follow up, right?
Yeah, and I bet there's another musical version of it done by a YouTuber as a review of it, right? What's the?
Yes, there must be. Oh my god, that is. I think that's my favorite of all the video essays, just dunking on something that's bad.
Yes.
Is who did that one? Was that Sean or is that somebody else?
No, I think no, I can't remember who was
it's
it.
It's the Line Goes Up guy.
H Bomb. Olsen. Yes. I can't remember his name.
What's his channel called?
Folding Ideas
video.
Yes.
On the Nostalgia Critics The Wall review is incredible.
Yes.
Gosh, that's great. So now, what did you guys come up with?
So a game from someone from a developer that's been around for a very long time, was trying something new, and it was a big exclamation point, and it changed everything. Demon Souls.
Oh, right. As soon as you said that, right.
Demon Souls, right? It's Demon Souls is the fucking dark side of the moon of video games. It's one that, like, even at the time, like, you had people championing it, but over time, its estimation among pop culture just grew and grew and grew until it's now this mammoth influential thing. And yeah, I think it's exactly the right answer. So kind of.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, now I want to put it to chat. See which one they like better. See if they think Metal Gear Solid or
sounds good.
Demon Souls is the dark side of the moon of video games.
Okay. While I do that poll, you been playing anything else? I know we kind of throughout this episode have been talking about the things we've been playing over the last couple of nights, but before that, maybe were you playing anything?
I mean, gosh, I've been working through Half-Life 1 for the Game Club, and been having fun with that, and then playing Fire Emblem Engage, but. And I talked a bit about the GameCube night I already had, where I was playing NBA Street Volume 2 and Simpsons Hit and Run. But now I'm really just been thinking about all that stuff that just happened on NSO, Jeff. It's so good. I mean,
it's everything we've been asking for on the Switch for a very long time. Yep. So
it is. So what console do you want the most now that is like reasonable?
I mean, reasonable, I don't know. I guess I feel like this isn't reasonable, but it should. Well, Saturn seems pretty reasonable. I hope Sega Saturn does happen.
It's bordering on reasonable. It'd be so cool.
Right. I know emulation a little bit more challenging with Saturn, but it's not that bad anymore. It's much better than it used to be.
It's not that bad anymore, but have you seen their work on Nintendo 64 emulation?
Yeah,
it got there eventually. It got to be okay enough. It's sure to take some work.
Right. Absolutely. But you hope that they could just work with teams that are already out there and know what to do and can just license that stuff or whatever. But yeah, Virtual Boy is a good one, Goldie. I would like that. That should be on the $20 tier. Just get all those games on there.
My thing with Virtual Boy is they didn't do that on 3DS. Like, if they didn't do it then.
That's annoying.
Right?
That's definitely annoying. Yeah. But I would still take it here. It looks really cool, like on the Steam Deck when I play Virtual Boy games on there. So I'm like, yeah, I would. That would look great on the OLED. That would look really cool. That red just searing through the OLED screen. Actually, I kind of want that real bad. They should do that.
I want Master System will probably get Game Gear, which will be bad because it's mostly just the same games but with a worse resolution.
Yeah. Yes.
But Game Gear has a lot more brand recognition in the U.S. than the Sega Master System does, unfortunately.
Yep, definitely.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
What about you, Jeff? Anything else you've been playing you want to talk about?
Not much. We kind of touched on all the stuff that I had been playing before that, like that Grim Guardians. I touched a little bit of that. Your only move is hustle. I played like a little bit of this.
Your only move is hustle.
Yes, this is a turn-based fighting game where you have all of these moves at your disposal, and the graphics are, the stickman animation.
Your only move was hustle. What do you mean you have a bunch of moves?
The one move is called hustle, so it isn't just a lie. But
yeah, fuck.
It looks like those stickman animations from the early days of Flash. Do you remember those? Like all those really hardcore fights.
I remember those. Yes. Yeah.
So what happens is the game stops. You were deciding what to do, and it shows you. You know how in Mario Maker when you are like, okay, you're gonna do a jump, and it shows you the path of the jump.
Yes.
So it does that, but it shows you like what's going to happen going forward, and then you can sort of do a new move to interact with things. And at the same time, your opponent, most of this game is a head-to-head chess game, basically. Although you could do a single player, which is trying to make the most beautiful combo possible, which is actually what I mostly played. But you see what's about to happen, and now you have to guess. What do I think they're going to do so that if I do a move in that direction, I can catch them off guard and do some damage? And it does that, and then a few more frames play out or a few more seconds play out, and then it stops again, shows you what's going to happen, and now you could okay, he's over there now, I'm over here. What can I do? Well, I'll do my teleport move, and I'll decide it's going to go this far in that direction. I'll try to get right behind him because he's probably going to try to come and catch me with his really good weapon that can reach me from range, and I'll catch him off guard, and then I'll stop him as soon as I get over there. And it's like you could try to pull this stuff off, and it's like it's really challenging, but it's also really cool. And I've watched a lot of these fights because what I do really is just go into the lobbies and watch people try to make this happen. And the cool thing that happens is when you join one of these matches or you finish one, it shows you the real-time version of what's happened in the fight up to this point, and it looks exactly like one of those animations.
That's cool.
And
that's a good hook.
Yeah, so you could see what's happening. You can see how the fight and how they've been jockeying for position, and then you catch up. And now we're just watching them make their choices. But then at the end of the fight, of course, you watch the whole fight, and it looks incredible. And that's why actually playing single player with a dummy AI that just stands there, or you can make them do other things. But usually you could just have them just stand there. You could just do these really cool animations, actually. And it turns out you're just playing the role of an animator instead in that mode. So it's pretty cool. It's blowing up on Steam, I guess. I'm trying to get to the point where I feel comfortable playing with other people, but I'm probably just going to see if Jan and Tam want to hop on and we play against each other over an afternoon or something. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
Are you and Tam going to do a Kuro quick look?
I did name my character file on Kuro and Tam. It's just Tam, so in his honor. And then I've been playing a little bit more freelancer mode in Hitman, but I want to play a lot more than that.
It's so fun.
Yeah,
I did my first one, or one of my first ones in my latest run. It took me to Japan, and it was I had the time trial bonus thing, beat it in 2 minutes. How the heck am I going to do that? And it starts you in the morgue where there's doctors, and it's getting out of there seems tricky. I'm what am I going to do? How am I possibly going to do it? Then I just walked off to some balcony, and the dude I had to kill was just leaning right over it. Just walk over and push. All right, let's go.
It's so satisfying. God, they really figured that game out. They knew what they had.
It's just ridiculous.
All right. All right, Mike, I think I'm going to start wrapping things up.
Well, we got some more super chats.
Oh, yes, that's right. Thank you. Hit those super chats, and then we'll wrap things up.
Yes. Okay, from Durachi here. He says, hot mess, no Super Game Boy borders for Game Boy NSO. It's a bit of a bummer.
Yeah.
I mean, it is annoying, too, that those borders that you can't turn off on all of NSO stuff. Is annoying.
They really need to do something about that, especially for the goddamn OLED, where it would just be completely black and look like just a slightly bigger bezel. It's stupid.
Yeah, you always have to see your player icon on the top left for some reason.
It's weird.
It's weird. Oh, Grug says, so was the remaster Bandai was working on Baten Kaitos and not Kid Icarus Uprising? They said it was an action game, right?
Yeah, Baten Kaitos is not an action game.
No, so it's not that. That is one of the things
Kid Icarus
that we all thought.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that were more wishful.
Yeah, Mario Baseball.
Yeah, but Kid Icarus Uprising was one that I would have maybe bet on.
Yeah, same.
That did not show up.
Yep. So hey, E3.
Mm-hmm. And they did say focusing on first half of this year. There's a lot of
there's stuff they could do in the second half of this year for that sort of thing. So yeah, we'll see.
Matt Rare Monkey Ellert says, anyone check out demos from Next Fest Shadows of Doubt? Looks like a very Jeff Grubb detective game.
Shadows of Doubt. I will look into it. Thank you for the heads up. I haven't had time to look at Next Fest very much. It looks jam packed with stuff. So thanks for that. Thanks for the shout out.
And then the Uncharted Wolf says, today's Kind of Funny Games Daily at the time stamp 44 minutes and 10 seconds is the Canoe Bowl mention.
Thank you for that. Shout outs to you for doing that for me. Thank you.
There it is.
Ooh, this
All right,
does
Jeff,
look like a Jeff Grubb game. Holy moly. Detective, immersive sim, noir, sandbox, RPG, and it looks like voxel, so it looks like Minecraft. This seems awesome. I am going to download this demo right now.
You don't have voxel fatigue?
No. I think anytime I see something different in voxels, I'm like kind of excited. So it's like a detective game, immersive sim, and voxels. Yeah, let's go. All right, I'm hitting the button. There we go. Okay, Mike, what do you got going on this weekend? So, you got any plans or anything?
Some plans here and there. Goes over some by Super Bowl. I'm mostly trying to get used to this new keyboard. You can listen to me spill Diet Dr. Pepper on my keyboard during Grubsy 3D, and it did in fact break it, and I had to go buy a new one.
It was a fun episode for Bubsy 3D for everyone except for me and Mike's keyboard. So
yeah, I missed it already because they don't sell the Logitech one I did have. I got this new one, which seems okay, but it's just slightly different.
What was your keyboard before? Because I have a Logitech one that's just sitting in the box back there.
It was a G9. I forget. This one is a G815.
Okay.
It's good. It's clickier though, and it's spaced out.
This is the one this was like when they were using the switches that were less clickier. So maybe when you're here, next time you could try it out and see if you want it.
Maybe we'll see. Okay, we'll take a look. But
this one's good.
It's just clicky.
Where can people find you on the internet?
Tokoto, Twitch and Twitter, TOLKOTO. ID's Disney.com and 90sdisney.com.
I'm Jeff Grubb on Twitter. Tomorrow night on twitch.tv/Jeff Grubb. Jeff Grubb's top 100 games of all time. Please come hang out. It's going to be a good time. I have a sponsor
What's
for
number
it.
100?
Well, I did have one picked out. Now I forget. I should go. Let's see. I don't know. WarioWare is going to be higher. I'm trying all I can think about are these Nintendo Switch Online games right now.
That's what's fun about it. Like I had a pretty good idea what was going to score high. It was fun to see what was 80 to 100.
It's going to be Alone in the Dark, the New Nightmare. That's what's going to be number 100. I'm going to play it tonight, and I'll put it on there tomorrow.
I think people look. I get it. It's funny. I think people who say that game is bad or wrong. I think I kind of admire it, but I'm also a retro sicko.
Yes, you're definitely. I hope that's what they should do. Put that Resident Evil game that got canceled. Put that on Nintendo Switch Online. Actually release the Game Boy version of Resident Evil finally.
Oh right, yeah, not just that Gaiden one that people like, but actually that. Right.
Yes, yeah. So we'll see. But yeah, tomorrow night, please, tune in twitch.tv/Jeff Grubb, and then we'll probably be doing some other games as well. So hang out all night. Bye, everybody. Till then, goodbye.
Bye. I forgot to make you play your stupid Maraca clip.
Next time.
Right in my mouth, please.
Dirty, unshaven balls. I have them turned down. Let me see.
It's ass season.